Patch 7.40 just dropped. We've got Largo with 7.40 update. We've got a new hero, Bardfrog, who we were all expecting, 7.40, and most importantly, we have a Winter Treasure for Dota Plus. Huge. Big up for Dota Plus enjoyers. This is completely blind. I have not seen any of this yet. I'm not going to go super deep into the lore. I know he has a comic and a trailer. I scrolled down ever so slightly, so maybe I did just lie. By the way, this is going to be like a full patch review. We're not going to be testing stuff out in-game. That's probably going to be coming over the next week or so. But we are going to be taking a look at everything here. So, he has a pull that says Q. Looks the target unit and it dispels, dealing damage if it's an enemy. And then if it dispels something, he gets temporary health regen. The numbers matter. This sounds interesting. The pull distance is not particularly long. It looks like it has a pretty good cast range, but being able to have a dispel like this is really good for the lane. I assume he's a support. Let me check his, yeah. Melee, durable, disabler, support. So he's going to have some kind of tanking ability as well. His W tosses froglings to an area. They stomp the ground. Okay, so these were the twerking frogs that we saw that got data mined, I think, by like the Russian community or something. They stomp the ground every 1 second, dealing damage and mini stuns. Enemies in the area have reduced movement speed. Okay, so it's like an AoE disable that also deals a little bit of damage. Mini stunning is a huge deal because you can cancel TPs with this. Cast range looks about the same, so I guess like maybe that's the combo. Let's see the rest of him before we pass judgment on anything. Croak of Genius. Strums attuned to a friendly hero. The hero's items and abilities have reduced mana cost. Percentage of their damage reverberates over the course of 5 seconds. When an affected hero spends mana, the remaining buff duration is reduced by 0.5. This is interesting. By reverberates, I guess we have to look at it. Does this mean... Okay, the affected targets just like take more over time. So what if you do like Maledict? What if you do like a really long duration spell? Will it reverberate for the entirety of Maledict? From Witch Doctor, for example? We will find out soon. And then his ultimate. So he has the pull, the AoE stun thing where the frogs twerk on you, the buff, and his ulti, Amphibian Rhapsody. Gets ready to groove. He is disarmed and his ability bar switches to 3 song abilities, each with different effects. Songs are only effective if strummed on the beat. So there's a... So they added a rhythm game to Dota. Every time he strums successfully, he gains a stack of Groovin. Every stack gives him bonus armor and reduces the mana cost of every song, but he loses a stack if he misses the beat. Stacks linger for a short duration when Largo's song ends. Okay. And what are the 3? Increases spell amp and grants attacks additional magic damage. Increases nearby friendly units' movement speed and grants brief slow resistance. Island Elixir, so heal. So he has damage, mobility, heal. The damage is always going to be magic, though. Like, obviously, they can still attack when they're affected by this, but it will deal additional magic or increase spell amp. Okay. So, I mean, the numbers really matter on this. But this is quite interesting as a concept. I'm curious if the rhythm... Does it speed up, maybe? It looks consistent, but it's hard to tell. This is very interesting. This is a pretty cool mechanic. Can you get it like perfect? I'm trying to like look and see because it looks like he gets one a little bit off. Like all the red ones look a little bit early, but it feels it's the same. That pink, okay, so that purple one was off and it didn't flash as much. So there is like a frame perfect type thing going on here. This is very interesting. This is really cool, actually. I was not sold until I saw this. Wallpapers. Thank you, Val, for the wallpapers. For detailed stats about Largo, view hero detail page. We will do that soon. Collector's Cache. Justice. Justice. We're going to go through this really quick because this is not why you're here. That's the super ultra rare. Okay, this one was cool. I think I voted this one down, but it's all right. This one I did vote down, but I did think it was cool. This one is sick. This one is sick. Awesome. I'm super glad this one made it in. This one's amazing. I'm not keen on this, but I think I mentioned it needed valve polish. That's good. Fuck this. Fuck this stupid Baka Chungus world we live in, dude. I hate this shit so much. And then we have this. Okay, cool. Gameplay update. Featured hero reworks. Silent and Bear have both learned some new tricks. He can root enemies with a new Entangle ability, and his all-new Spirit Bear has its own all-new talent tree. Okay. The only escapee from the Dark Reef prison is more slippery than ever, with Essence Shift as an innate and the new Saltwater Shiv ability letting him steal enemy health regeneration and movement speed. Okay, so they shifted Barracuda. Maybe it's on his ultimate again, or maybe he doesn't have it. Even trees run out of patience eventually. With a more menacing Leech Seed rework and an overpowering Overgrowth upgrade, Roof Trellin is angry and looking to get up close and personal with those enemies threatening his forests. Okay. This one's a lot more vague. The Sark one is the only one that really reveals what the hell they're doing. Featured new neutral items. We'll go through all of these, but these are just the featured ones. Weighted dice. When calculating your base damage or creep bounty, the value is computed 2 times and the highest value is chosen. On CK, this is going to be nuts. Actually, the fact that it affects creep bounties as well is really cool. Idol of Skriok. Gain 50% slow resistance, phase movement, 25% evasion. They better have taken out Sister Shroud. Oh wait, no, this is a tier 4. That seems good. That seems pretty good. Rift Shadow Prism. Spend 10% of your current health to create a full health illusion that lasts for 20 seconds. Okay, so this is like a fixed version of Illusionist Cape from back in the day. Featured removals. Helm of the Undying. Fucking pack watch, Rip Bozo. Fucking thank God, dude. This shit was so broken. I'm so glad it's gone. Sister Shroud, when falling below. Okay. Whew. Pure Cloak is also, I'm cool with that leaving as well. Sister Shroud needed to leave. Thank God that it's gone. Thank God that Helm of Undying is gone. Sister Shroud, I know it's like not entirely a hat, but this was part of Silly Hat Meta with Hot D and Helm of the Undying. Pure Cloak was not a hat at all. Terrain changes. Adjustments to various map locations for pathing and gameplay purposes. Good time to refine a ton of visual aspects around the map. Oh, so now it's in a hot tub now. I don't know. I feel like that would make it easier or harder to steal. I don't know. If you're there first, it's worse. That's an interesting changes. Or some interesting changes. Defender's Gate Radiant. Okay, they made him wider. That's good. Oh, and they just put it on this side of the map, too. That's probably the more important thing. I assume the jungle camp is still there. Radiant Bridge. Whoa! It's no longer just an awkward strip of ground. And you can make eye contact with the statue. Dope. This is very good. Oh, they brought the word spot back. Oh no, flat. Wait, is this? I think they switched it. This is new. This is old, I think. I mean, this is definitely new, this bridge. This is weird. Wisdom Dire Shrine, updated version. Okay, also in the hot tub. Defender Gate Dire. Okay, so now they go into the money tunnel. This is good. This is a good change. This is nice. Having it go out to just like the pity camps was always weird to me. Yeah, this one's correct because it has the updated version. And then they made up. Okay, so the hot tub connects now. So all of this is going to be water. Start her up big. Okay, I like these changes so far. So far. Patch notes, general updates, change order, first and third ban phases. First ban phase. First, second. Oh, you get combo on first pick now. Ooh, this is real. I'm not going to get super deep into this. I always feel like these changes are some of the most interesting in the patch. I'll talk about this a little bit. So there was a period of time back in 2020 during the online era where the Chinese meta became hyper centralized around Bane, Mirana, Shadow Fiend. And the reason for that is because teams would like almost universally pick to go second so they could secure first combo pick, and then the enemy team would have to like ban out 2 of those heroes or they would wind up getting that combo picked against them. And I thought it was super interesting because that idea is still in the game. It's just the heroes aren't as good. But altering it to first, second is like pretty insane. Second still gets an additional combo pick because of this. Then you have third ban phase. Wait, first ban. Oh, this is just the order of ban phases. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Who cares? This is literally nothing. I was about to go off on like Chinese draft theory from 5 years ago, and that shit no longer matters. General changes. Talents no longer require a skill point to level. Talents are now learned by using their own talent points available. Okay, so you just get them for free. All facets that used to have 6 all attributes bonuses now have 7 bonuses again. I don't know why, but this is like, oh, it was ones where you had additional levels and stuff like that. Okay, cool. All right. That's a small change that just kind of brings everything in line. I'm not sure because there were some times where like level 10 would get awkward if you were the type of hero who would max 2 skills and ignore another one. Because it's like you're like trying to think of an example. I don't know if you're Juggernaut and you're crazy, you can go like 4-4-0-1, and then you hit level 10, and then it's like, okay, well now I have to put a point in my talent. Uh, and then level 15, you would get into those kinds of situations too. I can't immediately think of which heroes this benefits a lot, but this is like a significant change, actually. Like a very significant change. Tier 4 towers now have a barracks reinforcement buff. Okay, so rushing throne is worse. This is a low MMR dream. You are actually encouraged to sit there and kill all of the barracks before you go in for the tier 4s. Plus 24 armor for 6 barracks. That is like, wow, I mean, how much armor do they have now? That's probably like double, right? Maybe not quite. This is a large amount. Assist gold formula reroute. All this means, by the way, all this means is you're encouraged to take more barracks before you go for the throat. That's it. And yeah. Notably, magic damage is not affected. Not that there are a whole lot of things that can deal magic damage to towers, but like Liquid Fire, Nether Blast, there's a few others. Assist gold formula reworked. Old. 60 plus. The numbers, I get lost. 15 plus 50 times divided number of heroes. So this is a larger number, but a larger amount of that is distributed among the number of heroes involved. So I guess assists are worth more now, but like barely. And then how does this scale? I'm trying to think, like, because if you had one person and let's just say like victim net worth, this number is so ugly that it's hard to do math in my head with. 60 plus 100 times 0.037 divided by the number of heroes. But only this number is divided by the number of heroes. So basically the guaranteed base amount of gold that you get is much lower. So I think this is worse. This is worse, actually. I think I'm not a math guy. I think this is worse because you only get like 15 guaranteed assist gold, which is like nothing. But obviously, you know, that's massively increased by this. I'm gonna skip this for now. This is probably a very meaningful change. I'm just too stupid to really make sense of it. Melee creep. Gold bounty now increases by 1 per lane creep upgrade interval. Thank goodness. Didn't we have this a long time ago? Flag bearer creep. Gold bounty now increases by 1 per lane. Okay, same thing. AoE bounty radius increased. That's nice. I always thought it felt a little small. When killed by a player-controlled unit, the flag bearer creep always grants bonus bounty to the killer's hero, regardless of the hero's proximity to the flag bearer creep. Okay, so if you use like mantas to kill a flag bearer now, you get the double gold. You don't just get the one. Bonus gold from killing flag bearers now classified as creep gold. Has no gameplay effect, but makes a post-game gold breakdown more accurate. I thought this was going to explain like guaranteed gold, but no, it's just literally nothing. It just helps with stats. Inspiration aura no longer affects heroes. Okay. Regen matters more in lane. Provides a magic resistance bonus to affected creeps, starting with 0% and improving by 4. Up to 15. That 60% is a lot, man. I think I like this change. Maybe. I have to see it in action. It basically encourages you to like a Sven is going to be was already amazing at killing creep waves, especially when there's a flag bearer, and now something like Alina will have a harder time. Anyone who uses spell combos to try to obliterate a lane is going to have a much more difficult time. Courier respawn time decreased to 45 plus. Okay, they just made it smaller base and then scaled it down. They no longer have a 15% movement speed penalty when carrying regen. Okay, I'm gonna keep it 100% a buck. I did not know they had this in the first place. Flying courier will now go to a more obscure shopping area within range of the secret shop. Okay, cool. I was literally just thinking about this earlier today because I was playing some ranked games. I actually was in a ranked game when this dropped, and then I kind of threw so I could get out of it and do this faster. We were going to lose anyway. The morph was very strong. Flying Courier will now go to a more obscure shopping area. This is good, because if you're a good player, you were already doing this manually. There are spots on the Radiant, but in like the little triangle of trees to the left, and then on the Dire, you just put it in the trees on the high ground, kind of behind the secret shop area, and you can't see it now. All illusions now have 800 daytime vision and 400 nighttime vision. Man, my Slark Manta style rush is going to be so much worse. I was not doing that. Map objectives. No longer considered a hero for lifesteal mechanics. Okay. Lifesteal is worse against Roche. Roar of Retribution, no longer dispellable. No longer has double duration against creeps. Now deals double damage to creeps. Okay, so like anti-Zoo, basically. And then they wanted Roar of Retribution to be... The idea behind this, I think, is they want more people to contest Roche past that point. So that's why they did it. It's a very small change, but it's an interesting one. They could do like super special rules where it's like if you already killed Roche, if you were the team that already killed Roche, you have a damage penalty or something like that. But that's very, those kinds of hidden rules are better to avoid. So something like this is a very small change, but it could be meaningful. Like there are times where you would, pop Manta and then micro them out to like watch outside of the creep or outside of the pit. So now that is like a much larger opportunity cost because you can't use it to also dispel the disarm. But it's small. It's still a small thing. Added Tormentor timer to the minimap. Thank you. Whenever they added the Roche timer, it was like, why is Torm not there? I'm glad that they did this. Pinging Tormentor's location in world will trigger the same ping as the timer. Minimap now only has one Tormentor icon and reflects where Tormentor is or will spawn. And that is nice. The shine, okay, this is the Radiance effect. It now no longer does anything until it's attacked. Bounty runes now grants gold based on when it was created, not when it was activated. Okay. Haste rune. Okay, this means that like the money, when you find like 4 of them, is worth less now. But it's, you're gonna pick them up anyway. This doesn't have any impact on your gameplay, it's just the results of picking them up. Haste rune is now always 22 seconds. It no longer scales. A lot of the other runes scale, but I guess this one will no longer do that. Invisibility rune no longer grants incoming damage reduction. Okay, that was a very small element of the Invis rune anyway. The terrain changes, I mean, we looked at them earlier. This is something that, we'll read through them still. Extended the streams into both bases, added Defender's Gate to the outside of respected safe lanes. So you can go into the money tunnel from the safe gates, whatever they're called, Defender's Gate. Remove some trees inside the base near the new safe lane Defender's Gate position. Timber saw down big. Hard camp nearest to tier 3 towers where the streams used to start has been demoted to a medium camp. Okay. Where the streams used to start. So that is the money tunnel still. Move the safe lane medium amphibian neutral camp closest to the tier 2 tower up the stream. Slightly closer. Okay, so it's safer to farm now. Okay. Slight nerf to the money tunnel, turning a hard camp into a medium camp. Why is it hard capitalized and then medium lowercase in single quotes? I don't know. Lowered the wisdom rune shrine. Yeah, they're in the hot tub. We saw that earlier. Move wisdom shrines and watchers to the low ground, slightly closer to tier 1 towers. Watchers now have vision over the shrines at night. Okay, so you prep that around 5 minutes and then you can wait and see. Change the bridges to actual bridges. Nice. Hard camps nearest to wisdom shrines have been moved back slightly towards the bases, made them safer to farm. Slightly expanded the entrance to the bridge by the lotus pools and adjusted the area within the nearby water areas. Hard camp is now a medium camp in the triangle. So this is interesting. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to counteract, because the lane creeps now scale. They're trying to remove a little bit of gold from the jungle and encourage people to be more in the lane when it comes to farming. Obviously, you're still going to be doing both. That won't actually really have an impact on your gameplay, outside of very minor farm pattern routing decisions. Twin gate mana cost decreased from 75 to 30. We roaming. Refunds the mana cost if the teleporting channel was interrupted. Thank God. Man. Cleared up some areas around the Tormentor locations. Fights there got super messy with people hiding in trees. Watchers nearest to the mid lane and near the small water camps south-north of the tier 1 tower have been removed. Okay, these are the ones that you used to go and get before First Blood, and Valve removed that eventually. Now they're just gone forever. Okay, Watchers are getting moved. Additional blocks preventing flying movement around the edges of the map. Hey, remember Pangolier? I can't remember who was playing it, but the Pangolier at TI who like clipped out of the map. I guess they're trying to prevent that. High ground areas behind the Tormentor will no longer be accessible by Batrider during Firefly. I wonder if that affects like You know the thing in the Dire Money Tunnel at the very top? The Money Tunnel is that strip of uh, jungle camps in the top and bottom of the map, by the way. Uh, Phoenix would be able to use the Sunray movement to like get on top of that building and then like TP out from there. Watch her night vision range decreased significantly. Wow. 800 to 450. Capture time decreased. That's nice. I wonder if Io's and 8 got buffed to compensate. Defender's gate vision radius increased. Forgot. Yeah, cool. Now show their vision radius when holding alt. That's nice. Removed a tree. Cool. Very slightly adjusted spawn. Okay, these are like micro things. Radiant Secret Shop trigger area moves slightly towards the Radiant Tier 1. More centered around the shopkeeper. Okay. Invulnerability targeting. Certain items and abilities have been updated. So this is like Sark ulti and Dark Willow Shadow Realm, stuff like that. They could target or affect invulnerable units. Falling spells have been changed. Is that what this is? Or is this like ODE prison? I assume so. I assume it's the former rather than the latter. Nullifiers nullify. Can no longer target invulnerable units. I didn't even know that could happen. Darkseer's vacuum doesn't affect them. Okay, so like AoE stuff. Like Stomp? Okay. So Sven's Stormhammer does still do that. I wish I gave an example of the invulnerability. I'm pretty sure it's like Shadow Realm type effects. Or like Ringmaster Box. Another swap can no longer target invulnerable units. Since Cyclone effects will also make the unit invulnerable, all changes mentioned above apply to them as well. Okay. There are these special cases. So you can't null already affected by the nullify debuff. So you can't nullify someone if they're already used? Is that what this is saying? Will dispel Cyclone off the units in AoE around the target. Okay, so you can't target them directly, but you can still... Okay, now I understand a little bit better about what it means. It's talking about stuff like in Yule's effect, basically. That's, I think, what it's talking about. Well, no, because that's a Cyclone effect. So maybe it's... I think they're talking about, like, Slark ulti. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. And then if you do it before they get cycloned, it still hits them. Okay, neutral creep updates. The fact that this is all there is for a neutral creep update is insane, considering what we've seen in the past. There's going to be other major changes that affected too. And they just nerfed the satyrs. That's all they did. Mana burn target's intelligence multiplier decreased. This is because of the Chens, who would go get a satyr mind stealer and park it by the mid lane, and then just like burn the enemy mid laner's stuff. Changing the intelligence multiplier matters quite a bit. It's a huge nerf. And then Satyr Banisher, just the purge now is in line with the things above. Item update. Okay. Initial and maximum stock increased from 4 to 5. Zeus up big. Now there's 60 gold. Initial and maximum stock increased. No longer has half duration. Okay, so they nerfed buying salves for your friends to help support players not be whiny. So instead of the speed being the same, but the duration being half, now the speed is half and the duration is the same. That's the idea, which is a significant nerf. That's a very meaningful nerf. They made Iron Branch more expensive? Oh, they made it such an ugly number. 55. Ugh. Observer Ward. Cannot be planted within 300 units of this same Observer Ward. Okay, this is nice. Plant no longer increased by cast range increases. Okay, interesting. So if you have like Shadow Shaman with an Aether Lens can no longer ward your high ground from a billion years away. Or like Rubik is honestly the better example. Interesting. And then they made this because, you know, there are times where you put a ward down in a ward spot and then your other support is like, huh, that's a good idea. And like does it a millisecond right after you and it feels super bad. And then you do the Dota Plus laugh at each other when it happens. Sentry War, same rules. Okay, this is good. It's kind of like how Smoke has a team cooldown. It's like the same vibe as that. Smoke can be used directly from the backpack, and it has no cooldown. That feels redundant. When entering the main inventory from the backpack, it doesn't have a cooldown. That feels very redundant, but like whatever. Tango, initial and maximum stock increased. Share Tango heals for half the amount per second. Wow, they really don't want you healing your friends. It sounds like this would be a nerf to a support, but what this really means is supports just won't do it. So it's actually a nerf to everyone else. Well played, Valve. Well played. Hmm. Roshan's banner upgrades with these subsequent drop. Okay, hits and radius. This is good. This is good. Roshan's banner kind of felt shitty, especially against like long range heroes like Lina and Sniper before, because like you get the third Roche banner and it's like you would, even as a support, you would rather just have cheese, so you can shove it down someone's throat or just like save your own life if it comes to it once your Aeon disc pops. Roshan's banner scaling is very good. Buff to Roche. Ghost Scepter, Ghost Form magic damage vulnerability decreased. Okay, small buff. Makes you less vulnerable when you pop it. Ring of Taras, cost decreased. That's nice. I have a feeling Pipe will remain the same price. Shadow Amulet, cost decreased as well. Okay, just small taps down. I bet Refresher recipe costs 400 now. It was always funny to me how it costs 200. Like, you're not going to build that item on accident. You see what makes a Refresher these days? Cost decreased on Voodoo Mask by 50. I mean, it really depends on the big items. Part prices don't really matter. Okay, it looks like they honor ruled it for Bloodstone. Spell lifesteal bonus increased to 25%, and then you have the active, which doubles it, so that's actually a pretty meaningful buff. Blood Pack spell lifesteal multiplier. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, so it used to be up to 80, now it's at 75, so it's actually a nerf. But like when you're not using the active, it's slightly better. Okay. The item is a little bit less centralized around its cooldown. It's also 50 gold cheaper, which doesn't really mean anything, but you know. Boots of Bearing recipe change requires a Ring of Tarask. Okay. It's just getting rid of recipes. Crimson Guard buff is no longer dispellable. I didn't even know it was, to be completely honest. Total cost decreased from Voodoo Mask. Okay, so just Dagon, slightly cheaper. Mana Break no longer up. What? Excuse me? This is that is an insane thing. What? Mana Break no longer. So like PL is a dead hero now, right? They better have really buttered his biscuit to make up for Diffusal Blade no longer applying by illusions. That's a crazy change. I I feel like they should have a gold border around it to show this is like the craziest item change by far. Like the salve thing is really big, but like this is crazy. Disperser. Suppress now applies basic dispel to any target. Okay, so you can use it defensively now too. It's a defensive dispel. You can use it under friends too. Ethereal Blade. Ultimate Orb instead of Aether Lens. Recipe cost decreased. Total cost decreased by 175. All attribute. Okay, so it's a stat item now. It's no longer like a support item as much. It's now just kind of a general stat item. Magic damage vulnerability decreased. I had a sec when I saw Ethereal Blade, I was like, okay, Shotgun Morphling is back, but that is not the case. Ether Blast attributes as damage changed. Okay, and that's kind of a nerf too, isn't it? Yeah, they really don't want you to play Shotgun Morphling with the Strength Facet, which was shit. I think that facet had the lowest win rate in the game. I think it was like 39.5. But I lost to it once and it was embarrassing. Glimmer Cape, recipe cost increased, total cost unchanged. What did I say? Guardian Greaves, recipe changed, no longer needs a buckler. Total cost decreased significantly. Significantly. 750 cheaper down to 4,300. Armor bonus increased. Aura no longer does armor, no longer does the low health bonus. Wow. They nerfed the shit out of Guardian Greaves. They made it way cheaper, but this is like the 25% and below bonus was a huge deal on this item, and now it's gone. It only applies to the person who owns the item. I guess they just wanted it to be a lot less impactful, and if so, they have done that successfully. I mean, you still have the active, but Hand of Midas Transmute no longer has an experience multiplier. Charge restore time decreased. Hand of Midas was already shit. I mean, decreasing by 20 seconds is like relevant. It's a big deal. But I don't think this actually changes anything. This is like, what was it before? Like 1.9 or something? This is kind of a nerf, low key. You do buy Hand of Midas for the gold, not the experience, 100%. And like you might see it more often as like a carry catch-up item, but like wow, that's a significant nerf to Midas, which I already thought was kind of weak. Or maybe it's a buff, I don't know. It's definitely worse on supports. Supports cared a lot about the XP. They didn't care, I mean they did care about the gold, but not as much. Midas down. Heart of Tarask, total cost decreased slightly. Regen down to just 1%. Behemoth's Blood. Whereas health regen is increased by 1.5% of missing health? What? Oh, okay, so they offloaded some of the regen to this, and multiple instances don't stack. Heaven's Halberd. Disarm is now only dispellable by strong dispels, but it doesn't pierce BKB still. No longer has separate disarm durations for melee and ranged target. It's always 3 seconds. I don't know how I feel about this change. I feel like ranged heroes should pay costs to being ranged. I always thought Heaven's Halberd having a longer duration was a pretty interesting way to do that. Helm of the Dominator. Simple and clean. There you go. Way worse of an item now. The golden experience bounty is now half, not the full amount. Holy Locket requires crown instead of diadem. Recipe cost increased to compensate. All attributes bonus decreased. Okay. Up to 25 charges, but the passive charge gain is longer now, up to 10 seconds. Cast range increased. Mana restore from per charge decreased as well. I feel like this is a nerf. The energy charge active now increases the target's incoming healing amplification by 10% for 4 seconds. That's before the energy charge heal. That's cool. Okay. So this is designed more for like specifically healing one hero as opposed to a bunch of different ones. And then the passive charge gain is like significantly nerfed because, well, I mean, it actually restores more health now, I think. Because you get 25 charges. It's just the mana restore got changed from 17 to 15. That's a weird way to balance it, but like, do what you feel. Conda, forget this item exists all the time. Recipe change, soul booster instead of tiara. Total cost unchanged. Wait, what? Oh, it requires a soul boost. Okay, yeah. Now I understand. Provides 7 health regen. Yeah, it just has soul. Okay. I don't know. I feel like the mana regen was, well, no, it still has the, well, it's from 8 to 3, which is still meaningful because multipliers. And then it gives more fake stats, just more mana and health. Okay. This sounds good. This is probably preferred on like cores. I guess Conda is like better on, you might see it on Luna now, maybe? Because she didn't need all that mana regen. You know, it's like overkill for what she does. But the health regeneration is nice, and then just having 250 to both mana and HP is meaningful as well. Magic Wand up to 460. The changing Iron Branch to 55 gold, I always felt like that was the item that the game was balanced around in terms of item theory. But I guess I was wrong. Mechanism, armor bonus increased from 4 to 5. Meteor Hammer stun duration increased. Yeah, baby! Yeah, buddy! OD, Meteor Hammer is back on the menu. Nullifier, they went over the change, otherwise unaffected. Interesting. I expected like a build-up change, but no. Octarine Core can no longer be I've never once in my life disassembled an Octarine Core. I didn't know you could do it. 200 gold recipe, unchanged. Oh wait, no, increased. 4,900 gold. No, whatever. Pavise armor bonus increased from +2 to +3. Perseverance can be disassembled. Huh. When would you want to do that? If you want to go like Yule's Vanguard, you're playing Razor, and you're being a fucking weirdo, you go Perseverance and then you disassemble it for Yule's Vanguard. Dope. Pipe of Insight, recipe cost increased, total cost, wow, they didn't change pipe. Huh. Interesting. They didn't change BKB either. It would have been here already. Phylactery, recipe change requires Perseverance instead of point booster. Okay, just a small change. Huh. Evasion bonus increased from 15 to 25% on a Radiance, but it no longer has the AoE thing, and it no longer does extra damage to illusions. So it's no longer like a pseudo team item. Radiance does not help your teammates, aside from being able to kill the enemy heroes faster, which is a pretty useful thing to do. I don't know. This definitely, it feels like a nerf, because one of the funny parts of Radiance is like sometimes people would buy an MKB against it, which is like I don't know about you, but personally, the Radiance miss chance, I would just kind of take it to the face. I'd be like, fuck it, I'll just miss every now and again. I'm not building an MKB because I'm a rad that they're going to disassemble and build a nullifier for later. Like, what's the point? Not a lot of heroes go Radiance Butterfly for obvious reasons. Refresher Orb. Recipe change. No more Cornucopia. Put him in the Cornucopia. No longer provides plus 10 damage. I miss when Refresher Orb gave you like 40 damage, so you could justify it as a 6 item on pretty much any core hero. Oh well. Didn't know what we had until we lost it. Revenant's Brooch. Increased cost. It's what? Oh, literally it's the same. Scythe of Ice, literally the same. Shadow Blade is 100 cheaper. Arctic Blast no longer does extra damage to illusions off Shiva's guard. I'm not gonna lie, forgot it did that. PL up big, aside from getting absolutely castrated by the Diffusal Blade change. Silver Edge total cost decreased by 100. Shadow Walk debuff now caps the target's movement speed to 200. What's the duration on that again? For the break? Silver Edge, if it is the duration of the break, that's kind of insane. Not dispellable, doesn't pierce debuff immunity. I mean, Silver Edge was a shitty item. You only bought it if you needed a break, and you forgot that Conda existed. That's the only reason you ever bought this. So I guess that seems brutal. I mean, that might be really good for Slark. Not a lot of other heroes really like to buy a Silver Edge, like just for funsies, but any hero that does is really going to enjoy that. Especially Slark, because you can now wait for the end of that in order to pounce. Urn of Shadows. Please tell me they, like, removed it. Regen on mana decrease, or release charge gain radius increased. Wait, you can stack them? We can go multiple urns now? This changes. So if you have multiple urns, they will now all gain charges. I don't know if I like that. I kind of like the idea of teamwork being enforced by items not being good to stack. I guess Radiance is okay to stack now as well. Soul release charges gained by both Urn of Shadows and Spirit Vessel from the same hero death. Okay. 2 allied heroes, both of them have Urn of Shadows and Spirit Vessel. Enemy hero dies within 1500 range. Both urns gain a charge. Spirit Vessel will also gain a charge, but only for the ally that was closer. Okay. It's a pretty simple change. Basically, multiple urns can gain charges, but Spirit Vessel can't, which is an interesting balance decision. I guess Spirit Vessel really is just that strong. I really thought they were going to nerf urn hard. I wouldn't really call this a buff, but like, you know. Spirit Vessel, same charge gain radius thing, and then it explains how this works. Veil of Discord, pretty much the same. Yeah, it's the same. I don't know why they changed it. 320 gold recipe. It's a very strange number. They're doing weird numbers for items being bought. I'm a big fan of multiples of 50, but, you know. Wraithband buff. Yeah, woohoo! Wind Waker Cyclone cooldown increased. Good. This item was a little too strong. It was expensive as shit, but it was a little too strong. Neutral items. Ripper Slash out. Sister Shroud out. Spark of Courage, my beloved, out. Ash Legion Shield. Legion Commander reference. Active Shield Wall. Decreases movement speed by 12. Okay. Valve, what the fuck is your deal? What's up with these numbers? To give all player-controlled units within 800 radius a 140 physical... Ooh, this seems good. That seems very good. All their player-controlled units. So, like, Beastmaster and Enigma. My first thought is, like, Enigma against Gyrocopter. You pop this, and then, you know, the damage threshold to kill the Eidolons off of Black Cannon is, like, a lot harder to hit for the Gyro. 40-second cooldown, no mana cost. Duration 6 seconds. Okay, I don't know. Duelist Gloves, we're back. Provides 20 attack speed if there are enemy heroes nearby. Weighted Dice, we saw this one earlier. Rerolls certain RNG elements. I can really imagine this being good on Chaos Knight. And then I'm trying to think of other heroes with really high damage variance. If it applied to crits, it would be nuts. Brigand's Blade is gone. Defiant Shell is back. Oh, look at that. 80% of the normal attack damage. Cannot proc attack modifiers. Dormant Curio. Are we doing this now? Are we listing the Dormant Curio effects every time? I guess we are, because Searing Signet is here too. Burn through, total damage increased. 50% less damage. Okay, this is a good change. It was kind of ridiculous playing Shadow Shaman with a Searing Signet, and you hit Q and it kills the entire wave. That always felt a little weird. I don't mind this changing. Gale Guard is gone. Thank goodness. I can no longer forget to use it. GD Pollen Bag. They kept this one. I really thought this was going to go. I very rarely see people pick this up and use it. Pollinate duration decreased. Max health damage decreased. Cooldown, like, almost cut in half. Max health damage decreased. Okay. More frequent, but not as powerful. Psychic Headband, Psychic Push can now target allies. Huh. You still can't use it as a force staff slash Tumbler's Toy though. Unrelenting Eye moved from tier 5 to tier 3. Shucks. They removed the primary thing. Max slow resistance decreased from 100 to 50. Dormicuria max slow. Okay. Below the slow resistance lost per enemy hero in range decreased. So when heroes are near you, you gain slow resistance up to 50%, and then I guess they just removed the status resistance entirely. Oh, but it's changed to the hero's attack range. Ooh, this is an interesting change. I could see this being good on like a sniper or like a Lina. Well, Lina's got a lot of. I was gonna say magnifying monocle, but that shit is gone. Bye bye. Outworld staff is also gone. Bye bye. We don't miss you. Pyrrhic Cloak. Flayer's Bota. What is a Bota? Bota D's nuts. Defense of the Ancients. Bloodthirst. Increases wearer's base damage by 15% and attack speed by 30% for 6 seconds. Oh, what was the Quap themed one? It was like Demonic Pact or whatever. That did a pretty similar thing. It also is a passive. Cooldown is reset whenever an enemy hero does. So it wants you to chain kill is what this is. It's a fighting tier 4 that wants you to chain kills together. Okay. Sounds fun. I'm sure someone will forget to use it. Giant's Maul nerfed. Small number changes. 182 crit. Really, Valve? Oh, that's with Dormicuria. Who cares? Dormicuria numbers they can be weird. Idol of Skriok. Okay, we saw this one earlier. Gives you like a very strong defensive buff and also phase movement speed. Sounds good. Sounds good. Metamorphic Mandible. Nyx Assassin item. Pupate. Enters an insect form for 4 seconds, increasing magic resistance by 35%, movement speed by 15%, decreasing size by 20%. I like how it says but, as if this is a thing that is not purely cosmetic, and armor by 45%. Okay, so you get a little Nixie whenever you cast it. Okay. Yeah, it's like, what was the shield that they took out? Gale Guard. It kind of reminds me of Gale Guard, but with some additional effects. Rattle Cage, let's go, Razor. Reverberate. After taking 180 damage from any source, okay, it's pretty much the same. When you get hit, you deal damage back. It's a copy of Razor passive. Helm of the Undying, Packwatch, Rebozo. Dizun Bloodrite, move to tier 5. Okay. I liked Dizun Bloodrite. I think messing with the AoE of stuff is like dangerous, but fun. Kind of like, swimming at night. Blood Invocation area of effect bonus increased. Okay, so just numbers buffs to compensate for it going to tier 5. It might feel a little underwhelming. I don't know. Yeah, and you know this one. Rift Shadow Prism, it's Illusion Escape, minus the buff to illusions. And I guess it costs mana. 50% outgoing damage to 40% That's a pretty good illusion. It's a strong illusion. Now we're in the meat. We're in the heroes. We're like a quarter of the way done. Abaddon. Base strength decreased from 22 to 21. Base agility decreased from 23 to 22. We're not going to be going through literally every single stat change. We're kind of just going to glance over and I'm going to talk a little bit about the interesting ones. So just some slight nerfs to his base stats. Decrease. Okay, quickening nerf. They kind of want to tamp down on Abaddon carry. Miscoil cooldown increased. Wow. They also want to tamp down on support, I guess. Damage and heal increase though. Oh, okay. So this is all right. This is all right. At early levels, it scales to the same. Yeah, it's the same ability at level 4. It's just early on, it's a little bit worse. Or a little bit worse in terms of cooldown, but a little bit better in terms of number. Acid Spray. I think this is worse over, like, heal per second I think is worse. But Alchemist. Acid Spray mana cost increased to 120 across the board. It's going to be slightly annoying. I think you had to go Soul Ring anyway, so. Anti-Mage. Removed Counterspell Ally ability. Thank you, Valve. This ability was, like, stupid. This was a really dumb ability that shouldn't have been in the game. It was so mentally taxing to use, and, like, no one ever did it. To the point where you were buying Moon Shard before Aghanim Shard on this hero. Counterspell, Aghanim Shard no longer provides it. Illusion outgoing damage increased from 75. Wait, so that's it? They just removed it, but they made it so when you counter a spell, it spawns the illusion? That's... okay. I thought they were going to replace it with something interesting. I guess dealing a 100% damage illusion is pretty good on Anti-Mage. And that's the only way you can burn mana with an illusion now. So, nah, it seems like a small amount of compensation, but, like, fine. I think you're still going to wind up going Moonshard, but whatever. Maybe if it's a really good game. Arc Warden, base attack speed increased to 110, mana cost on magnetic field starts higher but ends significantly lower. Okay. I think Arc Warden was, like, kind of in an okay place. Maybe slightly weak. So these are, like, small buffs. I think the magnetic field mana cost getting rescaled. This is, like, a very small buff. Or maybe it's a meaningful buff. I don't know. I haven't played Arc very much in this. I have, like, one Arc game on this patch. The previous patch. Axe. Ooh, a lot of text. Berserker's Call. Duration and cooldown increased. Slightly worse at level 4. 1 second more of cooldown, but otherwise the same in terms of duration. Early duration is better. Battle Hunger, no... Oh my god, they made it pure. This is what happens when Valve doesn't know how to balance something. They're like, fuck it, make it pure. And so they did. No longer has an armor-based damage multiplier. It's kind of crazy. Okay. That's the big thing. Okay, and then they kind of shuffled around talents. So at level 15, instead of the slow on Battle Hunger increasing, you can get the Battle Hunger damage. Level 20, talent counter helix damage increased as well. Okay. I think this is like, man. Changing to pure? I mean, like, is that a good idea? I know that you don't have the armor multiplier anymore, but, like, it still stacks with Shard. This seems strong, maybe. It's kind of worse early on because heroes generally don't have a whole lot of magic resistance or armor early on. But then, you know, late game, this is really going to make a difference. Bane. On balance, I think this is like a small buff to Axe's Battle Hunger style of gameplay. And then it's going to stop Axis from buying fucking 4 Rings of Protection at the start of the game. Oh my god. Apes. Apes. Absolute monkeys. Bane. You know him, you love him. Nightmare cooldown increased by 1 second at all levels. Aghanim Scepter, illusions slightly... Okay. This is a very weird one. It's like, how do we deal with this? We think Bane's ulti with Axe is a little too strong. Make them take the equivalent of 12.5% more damage. So, Bat Rider, daytime vision range increased. Okay, yeah, because he's up in the air. He's up on a bat. Arsonist, okay, we saw the change earlier. Even though it gives another opportunity to spend a level, you still have 7 plus 2 all attribute bonuses when you have nothing else to level. Or something else to level, and you can start doing it at level 1 if you want, if you're based. Flame Break, movement speed slow decreased. Slight nerf. Slight nerf. Meaningful nerf, actually, because the slow matters a lot, because you have to get on top of them with Firefly and burn them down. So them having 8% more movement speed, or 8% less of a slow apply to them is actually meaningful. But, like, you're still going to be faster, so, I don't know. Then Flaming Lasso cooldown reduction increased. Okay, cool. So they want Bat Rider, I think, to be a little bit more focused on his ultimate. They didn't do this by buffing his ultimate, but they made it by slightly nerfing Flame Break, which in turn slightly nerfs Firefly, so. Beastmaster. Wild Axe's damage rescaled to be worse early, better later. Okay, so it's not as good in the lane. Call the Wild Boar, base attack time worsened. I guess it's good that they picked that because people might not necessarily know what a BAT is and they think number go up equals good because they're Dota players. Inner Beast, bonus attack speed rescaled. It's pretty much the same as Wild Axes. It's worse early on, but better later. Okay. Beastmaster's lane was a little... nuts. So taking just some slight numbers off of his early levels is going to have an impact. And then the base attack time on Call of the Wild board matters as well. That might be enough time for the slow to kind of like wear off or get close to wearing off if you're running away from it. So Bloodseeker, Sanguivore, base heal increased. This is his innate that makes it that when you kill things you heal. No longer upgraded with Shard or Scepter. Aghanim Scepter effect moved to Aghanim Shard. Okay, so the Blood Rage, the why am I forgetting the name? Blood Mist. Aghanim Shard's target max health is pure. Wait, hold up. Did they shuffle it before? Aghanim Shard targets max health is pure damage decreased to 2%. Okay, no. Yeah. Now upgraded with Aghanim Scepter increases current health as initial damage by 3%. Replaces cooldown with 2 charges. Okay, so Rupture is 2 charges back, and then what's the 25? Plus 2.5 second Blood Rite Silence duration. Okay. This is interesting. I think the Bloodseeker needed help. And I don't know if this is necessarily true. Giving 2% pure damage of max health per hit on a shard is pretty nuts. That's a pretty crazy thing to do. And then, did they change this? Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. These are slight buffs. I think he needed a little bit of help. This definitely helps. Level 10 talent you had to pick before. Now it's Blood Rage attack speed all the time. 8% Rupture initial damage replaced. These look like small buffs. We're just going to skip them for now. Bounty Hunter, Cut Purse. Visual effect is no longer visible to enemies if Bounty Hunter is invisible. Okay. You no longer kind of suss out where he is whenever he uses track on you in Invis. Slight stun increase on Shadow Walk. Very small, 0.2 seconds, but it's consistent on all levels. So these are like small buffs to Bounty. This feels like more of a bug fix though. But I guess it wasn't a bug. It was in the game for a very long time. Brewmaster, strength gain decreased, intelligence gain increased. They made him smarter, but less thick. Those stats don't matter though, because you're going to be Brewlings the entire time. Okay, new innate. Removed Primal Companion ability. That shit was funny. Primal Companion was very funny. You could summon the Earth one and just send it out to like go hit creeps or go hit towers. Because it had Demolish basically, and then it was spell immune. So like, what do you do? What do you do? You have Flaming Lasso it. Liquid Courage, new innate ability. When he drops below 50% health, status resist, movement speed alternates. Okay, so he goes whoa, like he's done before. The effect becomes stronger at lower health. So what's the status resistance? 10.5% plus 5% per Brewmaster's level up. So we can get up to like 25% or so. That's good. NA math skills. Max speed slow is 10%. Oh, this is from the alternating movement speed buff or nerf. Okay, so you're 15% faster on mounts. Upgraded with Aghanim Shard, he may activate the ability to toss a strong drink to himself or his teammate. Max effect of his innate. Does that mean that you're always going fast? You don't slow down? So you give him status resistance and movement speed? And 2% max HP. I wonder if that applies to yourself as well. I mean, I guess you can just use it on yourself. Huh. Okay, so it's kind of like Alchemist Shard. But the effects are different. But not that different. You just don't get attack speed. Thunderclap. And the cooldown is way lower. And the mana cost is, I think, also lower. Thunderclap, cast point improved. Mana cost is now just 100. That's a buff. Well, interesting buff considering they increased his intelligence gain as well, but whatever. Now rolls a radius rescaled to be the same. Okay, this is good. I hate abilities like this where the radius scales. Like imagine if the radius of Hoofstomp scaled. Like that would just be annoying. And Thunderclap had that. So Cinderbrew now rolls a Bear the Veil that deals physical damage to enemies in path. Okay, so it's less reliant on like the pool, but it just does this. Look at all this freaking text. Drunken Brawler, move Brewed Up effect from Cinderbrew to Drunken Brawler. When he casts an ability, he becomes Brewed Up for any ability. Huh. Okay, so it's easier to get into the Brewed Up stance, but maybe they slightly nerfed it? No, they actually buffed it. Earth stance, magic resistance goes up. Attack speed and fire stance goes up. Void Stance removed. Oh, did they get rid of Void Bruling? Void Bruling removed. Huh. You know, people complained about the voice line for Brewmaster being like, 3 of me, and then there's 4 of him. I thought it was funny. I thought it played into his status as being drunk as shit all the time. But I guess the humor was lost on everyone except for me. An enlightened soul I am. All Brewlings now receive their respective drunken brawler stances. Okay, good compensation. Brewling debuff immunity ability renamed to Earth Element as it no longer grants debuff immunity. What a weird way to phrase that. It now provides 80% status resistance and 60% magic resistance and status. Okay, cool. So the Earth one is no longer BKB'd. It's just like super Sanchin Yashid all the time. No longer upgraded. Upgraded with Agnum Scepter. Cancel the ability early and provides Brewed Up bonus to all Brewlings on cast. What? Oh, that's the Brewed Up bonus. It's okay. This is the small version that they get. All the Brewlings have the small version, and then they get Brewed Up. Increases ability level to 4. Is that how you get the? No, you never. Okay, Void's just gone. The Void Ruling is just gone, and then it just supercharges the numbers. These are all just number increases, I think. Cyclone, 6-second hero duration, 100 damage on landing. Yeah, these. It's just it makes the numbers better. That's cool, and they get brewed up, so they will be the ones doing the fighting now. They can like beat your ass. They can like do you good, do you dirty in front of your squad. 100 damage on Immolation is kind of crazy on the fire one too, especially because it's like hasted. And then talent changes. I'm going to assume that these just interact with his new mechanics. You can get plus 600 Brewling's health. Is Refresher Brewmaster like gonna be a thing now? You just stay in his ult all the time? Like Octarine? I think I think that's what you do now. I think you go like Radiance, Octarine, maybe a Blink Dagger if you want, if you need. You also don't have to, because again, your fire one is. Yeah, if I was a Brewmaster player, that's the first thing I would try. Is I would try like going super all in on the ultimate, which you kind of already were doing before, but you would pick up like an aura item or two if you were feeling it. Now I would go like Radiance, or not Radiance. I mean, I guess you could, but I would try to go all in. Maybe with the new Midas, because the XP matters a ton. Got to get it to level 4 for Primal Split. Bristleback strength gain increased. Snot Rocket no longer increases armor loss per stack. Armor loss per stack increased. Okay, so they put part of Snot Rocket into the base form of the hero, which means that Seeing Red is like unequivocally buffed. Say strength gain increased from 2.7 to 2.8. Okay. Brood. Agnum Shard no longer increases duration of insatiable hunger. I think if you killed things, the duration extended. I think that's what it was. Brewmother Illusions now also benefit from the web, but not from Diffusal Blade. Incapacitating bite attack bonus increased. Okay. Level 10 talent removes the heal from Spider's Milk, which is the heal that you got when you killed things. Now it's more lifesteal from Insatiable Hunger. You already had a ton. Now it truly is a satanic. Spiderling's health increased slightly at level 15. The other level 15 talent was Incapacitating Bite attack bonus decreased, because that's built into her base kit now more. It's actually still a slight buff overall at level 4, which it should be at level 15. Level 20, well, yeah. Level 20 talent, 35 attack speed replaced with even more waiter. Waiter, more mischance on Incapacitating Bite, please. Yeah, they just moved, they gave a slight numbers nerf to the level 25 talent and put it on level 20. Wasn't this hero good? Like, we saw this hero a lot at TI. I guess the change to the Agnum Shard is pretty significant and meaningful. Look at Centaur War Runner. Bonus max health decreased on Rawhide. Cooldown increased on Workhorse. You know, it's so funny. I called this ability a meme, and now it's like pretty good. One of my last games on the previous patch, I had a Centaur War Runner. We were playing against an LC, and I was playing a Juggernaut. And I swear to God, every single time I got Blink dueled, I spun in time. Which is what you want to do when the LC is about to blink on you. And then instead, the Centaur War Runner decided to go Aghanim's Scepter, and I legitimately thought about disabling help. But then the very first time that I didn't spin and I got dueled, he was right there and going to me out of the duel, and I'm quite grateful for that. It's really strong in the pro scene and then in highly specific pub situations. So nerfing it to 35 seconds is meaningful. it lasts so long that like the uptime was like what, half? I don't know how long it was up for. It felt like forever. You were a Drow Ranger on the back of a Centaur. You felt like you were in there. It was like a cross country road trip. Now, not so much. Well, yeah. It was 8 seconds. Yeah, numbers right there. So it had 33% uptime. Now it's like 20% uptime. Yeah. Chaos Knight. Minimum base damage increased by 5. Max base damage decreased by 5. Okay, so they're crunching it a little bit. So the loaded dice are not going to be nearly as good. Damage at level 1 changed from 48 to 78 to 53, 73. So from 30 range to 20. They really did the math for you. All of this could have been one patch note. Level 25 talent. Oh, you can. Ooh, that's meaningful. Ooh, that is meaningful. Being able to reduce the amount of damage that Phantasms take is huge, because that is the way that that ability is balanced. The duration mattered, but being able to. Because it's like 400%, so now it's like 275. That's like a normal amount of damage to take for an illusion. It's like slightly high. Chen. Penitence mana cost increased by a considerable amount. Cooldown increased as well. No longer grants bonus attack range. Now deals pure damage by default. So it's also a pure damage nuke? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think this is really going to change anything. It just means you have to be a little bit more careful when you cast Penitence. You can't do it willy-nilly. Witch Doctor Ultimate still works. And then you can buff the damage as well. So it can become a 200 pure damage nuke. That's on an 11-second cooldown. I mean, you're not going to be using it for the nuke primarily, but that's a nice thing to have. That's a very nice thing to have. Get boned, Huskar players. Clinks. Oh, here we go. Good old Clinks. I love reading Clinks patch notes. Remove Suppressifier and Engulfing Step facets. Remove Tar Bomb. Removed Bone and Arrow. So step 1 is to rip everything out of him. Infernal Shred. New innate. Passive. Can't be leveled up. Clinks and his skeletons apply a stacking debuff. Pierce up to 20% of the target's armor. Okay, so they share each other. So skeletons apply 1%. Clinks applies 2%. Does this work on towers? That's my first question. I assume it does, because it says targets, not heroes or units or anything like that. I guess units would be ambiguous too. Debuff lasts 5 seconds. I assume it refreshes and grows the stack as well. Okay. So you drop 4 skellies. You have yourself. I know the skellies don't have your attack speed. So let's say you attack them twice when your skellies attack them once. To get up to 20%, you're doing it effectively in multiples of 8. So it takes you like what, 2 seconds? 2.5 seconds? I mean, it depends on your attack speed, obviously. But like, there you go. Okay, this is interesting. Being able to get rid of target's armor, I assume this is bonus base and bonus armor, which is an interesting thing to do. Not a whole lot of ways to pierce bonus armor in the game. Not a lot of ways to pierce base armor either. It's really just Drow Ranger, but you know. And Elder Titan. Strafe. Skeleton Archer's attack speed factor decreased by 60 to 50%. Okay, so that works in its favor. So 50%, what did I say? 2 to 1? I was rounding the numbers, but it turns out I was actually perfectly correct. Searing Arrows, returning as a base ability. Nice! I love harassing the offlaner. Skeleton Archers always fire Searing Arrows with 50% reduced damage. Is that 50% reduced? Well, I guess it's whatever. Mana cost 10. Skeleton Archers target the enemy attack by flanks with Searing Arrows effect. Yeah, because you can't redirect with Tar Bomb anymore because you don't have it. So just right-clicking his clinks now redirects them. Nice and easy. Death Pact no longer creates Skeleton Archers. Skeleton Walk. Okay, he still has Burning Army. Burning Mirage no longer slows. Skeleton Archer stats and Aghanim Scepter upgrade now part of Skeleton Walk. Okay, so just the stats for the Skeleton Archers, they got upgraded by actually the same. Burning Army spawn interval improved. Good. Skeleton count increased. Good. Burning Army felt pretty shitty. It was just the privilege of being able to have like 10 active or 9 active at the same time. Where is facets? Does he just not have facets right now? That'd be pretty funny if he's also like they did all of this and now he's the first hero without facets. Well, I guess the new heroes don't have facets right when they come out, but that's very funny. Clockwork. Jetpack can now be toggled on and off for the duration of the buff. Toggle cooldown 1 second. Okay, so you can like can you twerk? I'm running the simulation in my head right now, and Clockwork I think can twerk. Clock twerk. Twerk work. Twerk twerk. Overclocking. Rocket Flare cooldown increase. Thank God, dude. Fucking bombs over Baghdad when he activates this shit. Crystal Maiden. Base damage decreased by 2. Waiter. Why would they do that? Oh, because they buffed int. There you go. It's actually, wait, is this a Crystal Maiden buff? Holy fuck, they buffed CM. Yo. Yo, my beautiful baby girl. She got buffed, my sweetie girlfriend. Darkseer, base intelligence increase by 1, damage level 1 increase by 1. Like, okay. This is fine. It's the same. Dark Willow, stun duration on Curse Crown increased at level 1 by 0.3 seconds. Meaningful. Terrorize, Jack's return speed increased by 600 800, so you can do Terrorize into Bedlam easier. Not that you're doing that super often, but you, I mean, well, that's not true. The core idea of Dark Willow is like you Terrorize, you drop down the Bramble Maze, and then they run into it, and then you run up and you Nene on them. So this makes it easier to do the Nene part. But like also no one does that because like the cast range of Bramble Maze is not what you think it is. And then it's also like you catch 1 or 2 people with it, but they're feared anyway. So they're like if you fear someone and then you root them, they're basically just not like nothing happens. They're basically just rooted. Like the fear doesn't really matter. It's just that they manage to run into it, and the damage is small. But this I guess helps you do the idea of Dark Willow. Level 15 talent, Curse Crown AoE replaced with minus 15 second Terrorize cooldown. It was already pretty low. I don't think it's quite low enough to be like twice in a fight, but hey. Dawnbreaker. Please tell me you took out her kneecaps and replaced them with cereal boxes. Base damage increased by 1. That is not what I wanted. Solar Guardian, Scepter no longer reduces airtime or channel time. Hero Propulse increased. Okay. I assume she still keeps it when she lands. Level 10 talent plus 12 damage replaced with 15% Break of Dawn max damage. That is her innate. That gives her bonuses in the day. They had to replace her old innate because it made people's computers explode. turn your fucking laptop into an easy bake oven. Dazzle. Base strength increased by slightly by 1. Damage at level 1 unchanged because it didn't round up. Intelligence gain decreased. Damage gain per level decreased. Lethal projection, healing amp decreased from Magnum Shard. Okay. He's pretty much the same. Very slight nerfs. Very slight nerfs. And this tiniest possible of buffs with his base strength going up by 1. Enjoy your 23 more HP or whatever the number is because they keep changing it. Death Prophet Witchcraft movement speed bonus changed from point. Okay, so they made her faster? She was already good. Oh, okay, they took away the bonus movement speed from Exorcism, and then Aghanim Scepter Spear bonus damage increased. I thought Death Prophet, I personally think this hero was like already good, mostly off the strength of Crypt Swarm and Spirit Siphon, but Valve disagrees. Doom, intelligence gain increased from 1.7 to 0.9. This is nice. Remove Devil's Bargain Facet. Why? Who was fucking around with Devil's Bargain? Was it the Bracers? Were the Bracers too much, Valve? What did you think was going to happen when you added this into the game? Midas shenanigans? Aghanim Scepter now also increases damage per second. Dragon Knight, base agility decreased from 16 to 14. Okay, just small nerfs to his carry ability. Elder Dragon form bonus attack damage decreased? Yeah, they're tired of people playing Pause 1 Dragon Knight. That's what this is. I mean, this is a significant nerf to pretty much every form of him, because this is a small nerf to his attack speed / armor, but the armor doesn't really matter because you're innate. You're going to have plenty of it anyway. And then the bonus attack damage. This is relevant. He scales worse now. Minus 2 seconds breathe fire cooldown instead of the fire damage reduction. That's probably worse overall, even if it's higher uptime. Okay. This is just like a nerf. Dragon Knight is nerfed. Draw Ranger. Movement slow increased on Frost Arrows up to 15% at level 1. Whew. Sheesh. You can probably leave it at level 1 now. Makes it like less feels bad to get a pointing gust at level 4. Marksmanship, disable range decreased. Okay, so you have to get closer. Dry buffs are nice. I thought this hero was also like kind of fine. maybe some slight taps to be better. These are slight taps to be better. This is meaningful, actually. Earth Spirit, base damage decreased by 6? Whoa! Valve said stop picking this fucking guy. Removed all of his facets. Does he also not have facets? Now passively grants plus 2.5% bonus attack damage per currently unused charge. Whoa, 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 whoa. You get 20% bonus damage for not putting any of them down. That doesn't seem fair. Base damage decreased by 6, and then he gets 20% bonus damage on his on what is effectively an innate, because Stone Remnant is an ability that you're born with. You come out the womb with 8 terracotta soldiers. 7.5% attack damage. Hello, kitty. My cat's here to hang out. I had to take her to the vet today. Who has a corneal scratch and has to wear a little cone. That's right, it's you. Geomagnetic Grip can now target allied units by default with a smaller... Is that smaller cast range? I can't immediately remember the... I mean, it definitely is, because the Geomagnetic Grip range on the statues is like to Timbuktu. Max ability charges increased to 7 plus 1 per 4 hero level ups. Okay. 7 additional charge levels. So you can get a lot. You can get a lot, man. So you can get even more than 20%. Is it? Yeah, you can get... Oh, no, you get 20% now at the max. My math that was bad is actually correct. He's just slightly worse than the lane, I suppose. And then cooldown on Boulder Smash. I'm surprised they didn't affect Rolling Boulder at all. That to me is still kind of the problem ability for Earth Spirit. The Boulder Smash itself is also quite good at like trading in lane. I'm not sure if this is a buff or a nerf. Maybe they're trying to promote Earth Spirit right-clicking more later on. This could promote like pause 2 Earth Spirit, focusing more on like physical damage or like composite damage as a result of his entire kit. Oh, you can no longer geomagnetic grip in like bullshit. So you can't pull people out of duel and chrono and stuff like that anymore. Okay. Interesting. Aghanim Shard decreases cooldown by 3% and increases allied unit cast range and speed. Earthshaker. Well, let's take a look at the talents. You can get Boulder Smash cooldown even lower than it was before, but Geomagnetic Grip loses the CDR talent. Bullet damage from strength. Okay, this is an even more solid example of that. This is only going to be better when you have over 100 strength, which I'm pretty sure is not hard to do on this hero. Minus 3-second Boulder Smash cooldown replaced with 175 Geomagnetic Grip remnant damage. Yeah, I mean, this is like a solid rework side grade, if you want to call it that. I couldn't tell you 100% of this is better. I'm not well versed enough in Earth Spirit to declare him like broken or anything. It's interesting though. I think you'll see a little bit more mid play from Earth Spirit building around the physical damage that he can deal. Earthshaker. What'd they do to this guy? They cut his nuts off. Damage decreased on Fissure. Aghanim Shard no longer allows Fissure walking. That's good. Echo Slammage damage decreased significantly at early levels. Stop using it on Ancients, or keep using it on Ancients forever in order to get it up to level 3, where it does the same. And then a slight buff on his level 20 talent towards enchant totem damage. I can't tell you what the other level 20 talent is. Elder Titan. Return Astral Spirit and move Astral Spirit. Sub-abilities can now be used while Elder Titan is disabled. Okay, cool. Ain't no brakes on the Ghost Train. Talent Astral Spirit move speed per hero increased. Okay, so just some small buffs to Elder Titan. That's cool. Elder Titan been smacking lately. I don't know if they did something in the last couple of like letter patches, but something about him. I feel like he didn't used to do 1200 damage with a single Echo Saber proc, but he sure does now. Flame Guard cooldown decreased. Man, Ember Spirit cannot get a break, dude. Lower his cast points, lower his mana costs. Do something. Help our boy. Enchantress. Overprotective Wisps. Made it slightly worse. They don't want her getting out of jail free all the time anymore. Damage application changed from 10% to 4% per Enchantress level for Rabble Rouser. And these affect units that come under Enchantress's control. Okay, so they... Oh, man. Okay, they nerfed Little Friends. I was going to say that they're trying to push this. Affected creeps now gain damage buff from Rebel Rouser for the duration in case they did not have it. Why would they not have had it? Oh, from the nearby ones. Yeah, bonus attack speed. Okay, good. This was low-key the most broken thing in the last patch that, like, no one knew about. Enchantress Rush on Ags, you play, like, offlane Ench and you do this, you can just walk around on creative mode in Minecraft and kill people all the time. And there's, like, who has a Dispel that's good enough that early on that also allows you to kill Enchantress? Like, there's nothing. She was, like, the ultimate, like, you can't even call her an assassin hero because she would just walk up. Like, she's just, hello, because she's faster than you. And you get little friends, and it's a fat root that lasts forever, and then everyone beats your ass, and she deals pure damage. And they also reduced the bonus damage off of Enchant. Enchanted units may now be bound to a persistent hotkey. That's a buff. That's a real buff. Level 25 talent, they replaced the attendant. Wow, they really want her to, like, have less of an identity centered around healing. I guess they kind of switched them around. This is a nerf overall, I think, because they moved it from the untouchable attack slow bonus was plus 60 at level 20. Now it's level 25 and it's plus 70, which is not an appropriate compensation for coming that much later. It's just kind of worse now. Like if you go the same facets where you get more Nature's Attendance Wisps and more untouchable slow, it just is worse overall. Enchanted creep armor replacement, that's fine. Yeah. Enchantress, I don't like Enchantress getting armor. Personally, I'm not keen on that concept. Yeah. They nerfed Little Friends. Maybe. Yeah, they did. They nerfed it overall. But like still, holy shit. Like it might still be broken. It was that good in the last patch. Just no one ever picked it. Enigma. Aghanim Shard now spawns an Eidolon if the target dies before the effect expires, and small increase in Malefice damage. Okay, this is not really anything. This honestly just feels like the Aghanim Shard working as intended now, as compared to before. And then this is like the smallest buff that they could possibly give. So, Faceless Void Time Dilation now always applies 1 instance of damage and slow in addition to the pro cool. Okay, so now it has a baseline. It has a floor. Because if you cast Time Dilation on someone who didn't have anything on cooldown, it kind of just did nothing. But now it's still going to do something. And then they nerfed the stack damage in order to kind of compensate for that guaranteed presence of something. And then they can always cast spells, and then they get more stacks applied to them. It's a little bit like Silencer Q in that way. Time Dilation. I just found it interesting. Like, those two spells kind of do completely different things, but the results are sort of the same. I guess you're more willing to cast spells against a Faceless Void. Grimstroke. Phantom's Embrace. Cooldown is now refreshed if the Phantom's target dies. Okay, cool. I remember asking about this in another video, because I didn't know if it refreshed if the target died. I guess it didn't, but now it does. Soulbind. Ability can now be reflected. And for those of you who didn't know, Soulbind just straight up ignored Linken's and Lotus Orb. It just... Oh, no. Linken's would block it, but Lotus Orb and like Counterspell and Anti-Mage, it would just be like, nope, and like Soulbind you anyway. Reflected spells now get casted onto both units affected by Soulbind. Okay. How often was this happening? You Soulbind a Viper, Viper ulti your Anti-Mage, Anti-Mage reflects it. Both of the targets now get affected by... I guess they didn't before? It would only hit the Viper? Now it hits both? That doesn't seem like a thing that's happening very often. Dark Portrait deals less damage, but is a little bit tankier. Okay. Still spell immune. And hasted. Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter requesting a flyby. It's fucking nothing. I wanted a call down rework. Come on, Valve. When reality doesn't match your expectations, it's reality that is wrong, not your expectations. And then Rocket Barrage movement speed duration decreased slightly. I mean, this... on Afterburner, which, like, I don't know. I played a good amount of Gyrocopter last patch. I was never picking this talent. I was always picking the other one. And then missile damage decrease is like, whatever. I'm mostly just using it to farm Ancient Stacks anyway, so. Hoodwink. Go Nuts. Scurry active cast range decreased. Significantly. Holy moly. By like 33%. Active attack range decreased as well. Okay. So Scurry just is worse. It was the better one. Mistwood's Wayfarer ability can no longer target trees, affecting Acorn Shot or Bushwhack. Okay, so you can no longer. So this is something that Hoodwink players were complaining about. If you landed a Bushwhack and then someone right-clicked you, and then it got redirected to the tree that the Bushwhack was anchored around, it would kill that tree and end your stun prematurely. I don't think I ever saw that happen, but if you are a Hoodwink player, it probably happened a couple times. My question is, why are you that close? Like, brother, you are a ranged hero, and you have the nut. Like, you don't have to be. Why are you that close? That feels weird. Maybe in high ground situations where it's the only tree in range because there aren't a lot of trees in the bases, but I don't know. Cool to fix it, I guess. Just some small talent changes. I don't think these are particularly meaningful. Another charge on Scurry is kind of that matters compared to 60 bushwhack damage. Better for supports. Invoker, what they do to this boy? Mind of Tornaris. Shard drag speed decrease. Okay, this shit was annoying. The EMP like suck was quite annoying to deal with. I'm glad that they did that. Mana cost and cast range, or yeah, mana cost buff, cast range buff on Alacrity. Ice wall damage increased. So they reduced the base damage by 1, but now the exort multiplier is increased from 5 to 6. So it's a small amount of more damage over time. They have the numbers? They do. Yeah, this is, I mean, kind of meaningful. Because then you also have, well, how does this interact? Because what's the... There's the... I can't remember which one it is. There's a reason I'm not doing an Invoker PowerPoint. The one where if you go in Ghost Walk, it like does a Radiance effect equivalent to the damage of Ice Wall. This is a buff to that. It's a weird way, but it's like a direct buff. I was going to say an indirect buff, but it's not. That's not like the primary reason it exists, but like that's a very important thing. And then the talents. Cold Snap, cooldown. Okay, so just like small Invoker buffs, but only to Alacrity and Ice Wall, and then a nerf to the EMP with Shard using Mind of Tornaris, which I think is like the preferred. If you're going to go support Invoker, I think that's the one that you pick. So, IO. Base strength increased, base int decreased. Damage unchanged. So just more strength, less int. Mana cost decreased on spirits. Valve, you're fucking playing with fire here. Cooldown decreased as well. Valve, you're playing with fire here. And duration decreased as well, but it still has 100% uptime. I think you have to spend slightly more mana for it to be 100% uptime because of the duration decrease. Okay. I don't know. I don't really get the rationale behind this. I'm sure it's meaningful in some way. Maybe they just wanted nice round numbers. I can respect that. Level 10 talent replaced with 7 strength. It really looks like they're trying to push core IO. Unslowable during overcharge, minus 1.5%, relocate cast delay. Okay. The unslowable during overcharge thing kind of felt bullshit. But like, and you can't, there is a guy out there for sure. You know that makeup a guy? There's a guy out there who rushes Guardian Greaves and Boots of Bearing on IO. And he's going to be overjoyed with this. Plus 50% spirits damage overall. This is pushing core IO. They really want people to play core IO right now. Because this makes spirits so much better of a farming tool. It like in the hero for Pookie Pookie Honeyboo Princesses, I mentioned how like spirits like tickles as a farming tool. It does barely any damage to non-hero units. But now it's plus 50%. So now it's like real. Rugged and raw. And they nerfed Hot D. So I don't know. Jakiro, just a talent tree rework. Instead of dual breath cooldown, you get more ice path damage. Instead of attack range, you get 30 liquid fire attack speed slow. Instead of ice path base attack damage, wait, what? Yeah, they're just shuffling everything around. Okay, that's fine. And then buffing the max health damage you can get at level 25 with the orb effects. Okay, that's fine. Juggernaut. Oh, I want them to get rid of Omni Slash and replace it with nothing. Base agility decreased. Damage level 1 decreased. Mana cost increased on Blade Fury. And then they nerfed the healing word hits to kill talent. Okay, he's probably fair now. Juggernaut was quite good last patch, despite all my bitching and moaning. He was like a very... I don't know about best character in the game. Some people told me he was. I don't think that's true. But he was very good. And now I think he's just going to be good. I don't think these nerfs are enough to make him shit. The healing ward is like the actual nerf here. The Blade Fury mana cost is like, that means something for sure. I remember when the mana cost used to go down when you leveled it up. That was cool. And then they were like, what if he had mana problems? And then that became how they balanced him in the lane. I don't know, buy a mango. Keeper of the Light, base int increased, damage increased as a result. Damage increased on Blinding Light, mana restore from Chakra Magic increased at early levels. Damage increased on Willow. Willow did damage? I did not know. I was out of the loop. Keds, base strength increased from 19 to 20. Oh, there's going to be so much shit here that I have to pretend I know what it's talking about. Cooldown reduction on switch discipline increased. Maybe undervalues or reduces the value of Ags slightly. Cooldown on level 1 increased to a interesting... they buffed it by 0.05 seconds. Okay. Cooldown on level 30 decreased down to 0.5 seconds. That is meaningful. That is kind of insane, actually, for that to happen. 0.5 seconds on the cooldown swap is like really big for some of the inter-weapon combos. Bat on the katana increased. Bonus agility base damage increased for the katana. Oh no, decreased. Okay. So it's a little bit better in terms of attack speed, which I think muddles the identity a little bit. The katana was always like hit hard but not fast. The Shoto Sais were hit fast but not hard. Kazurai katana, damage per second rescaled. That's probably a good thing. Did a lot. The active effect may only trigger up to a maximum of 500 stacks. Who was... Okay. Aghanim Shard now also increases max stack to 1,000. Alright, sure, whatever. Falcon Rush, fixed attack rate or any interaction with attack speed, echo attack damage increase. Falcon Rush was the Shoto Sai thing where it's like the attack speed steroid, I think. No, it's the echoes. Yeah, it's like the things that attack them after you attack them. 50% reduced chance to proc random effects. Okay, so you can no longer get like pretty much guaranteed bashed. And then the rush speed decreased as well. It's the like run up on them illusion smack. Kind of like Faceless Void bashes. Mark stun duration on Shoto Sai. My cat is back. Parry stun duration decreased. Okay, the parry felt a little bit too strong on Shoto Sai, so I don't mind that getting a little bit nerfed. And a talent change. Plus 50% attack damage added to Talon Toss, replaced with 60 attack speed during Falcon Rush. Okay. Okay. That sounds cool. You might... Ooh. You don't really buy attack speed on this character. I was a little worried about, like, how fast can you hit damage cap... or attack speed cap, but, you know. There is no damage cap, by the way. Which is dope. Kunkka. I had a Bloodthorn Kunkka in a ranked match the other day, and he went like 17-1, and I was like, God damn, brother, what are you doing? Torrent damage increased at early levels. X marks the spot. Cooldown decreased at early levels. Okay. I guess to help with lane. Easier to secure range creeps with Torrent. Yeah, I mean, I think the hero was like okay. Maybe slightly bad. So some slight buffs to his landing stage are good, I suppose. Legion Commander. Mana cost decreased on press the attack. Moment of Courage cooldown rescaled to be better at early levels, but slightly worse at the final levels. I don't really know what the point of all of this was, but okay. I feel like these are overall slight buffs. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Kitty. Kitty, stop smacking my gamer chair so loud. Misanthropy. Diabolic Edict duration decreased. Can they please nerf this hero? The duration... It was already broke. Valve, what are you doing? This shit was already so unfair. And then they made it better. I guess it's worse against Blade Mail. And then the radius on Split Earth increased at early levels. I'm angry. I think Misanthropy is already a broken spell. It does so much goddamn damage. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Wait. Hold up. Am I an idiot? The number of explosions is probably the same. It's just a matter of being spread out more. So he might deal like lower DPS over a longer period of time, which is worse for Leshrac. Okay, this might be... No, I was an idiot. Now I'm enlightened. This is a nerf, I think. because it doesn't mention the explosion count. Okay, this is a nerf overall. Thank you, Valve. Thank you. Sorry for being an ungrateful little shit when I first read because I don't have reading comprehension. Lena intelligence gain buffed by 0.2. Broken cast range increase on Laguna Blade. Nice. Very small buffs, but the cast range on Laguna Blade kind of matters. Lion mana cost decreased on Hex at early levels. Tinily, not bigly, tinily. Finger of Death cooldown decreased at level 1 by 10 seconds, at level 2 by 5. Okay. It did feel a little too long. 130 is a long time for an early game crucial big fat screw you ulti. So Finger of Death is like, yeah, it's good. Lone Druid, base movement speed decreased significantly. Okay, this is one of the big reworks. So we're gonna take a little second on this one. Base movement speed decreased significantly. Base damage increased by a little bit. Damage at level 1 increased. Man, he really did. Man, he sucked. Removed Bear with Me and Bear Necessity facets. Removed Gift Bear innate ability. Its effect is now part of Summon Spirit Bear. So does he get a new innate? Oh, it's just part of it. Oh, Summon Spirit Bear is the innate. Cannot be leveled up. Abilities move to the 4th ability slot. D key. Spirit Bear now counts as a melee hero for most spells. Since the bear is now a hero, all unit-related changes move to a separate Spirit Bear section below. Spirit Bear is a new hero. Cool. We get 2 of them. Entangle. New point-targeted basic ability. Lone Druid. Allows Lone Druid to entangle enemies once they get... 5 sacks. Entangled enemies unable to move. And take 90 damage per second. For 2.4 seconds. When cast, applies 2 stacks to each enemy hero in the area, 5 stacks to enemy creeps, empowers him for 10 seconds, making him apply 1 stack with each attack on enemy heroes. Okay, so they tried to make Entangle a little bit more fair, I think. I'm going to need to process a lot of this because, like, this is a pretty significant hero rework for Lone Druid. One that I think was maybe a little overdue. We'll see if they made it worse. So Entangle pierces debuff immunity now. It's the first thing I read. Holy shit. So when you cast it, it applies stacks to an AoE. Cast range, radius 350, cast range 700, mana cost, cooldown 18 seconds. Huh. You apply a stack whenever you right click. It pierces debuff immunity. How do you like trigger it? Is it just another right click? They get up to 5 and then that's it? Or do they have to get hit by the bear? Lone Druid's empowered buff and enemy stack counter debuff are undispellable, but the entangled debuff is dispellable. Okay. Creeps can't gain stacks from either Lone Druid or Spirit Bear's attacks. They are entangled only on cast. Roshan is affected as if he were a hero. Entangling Claws on Spirit Breaker is reworked. Levels up with that ability and provides empowered attacks at all times. Holy moly. So now it's like a Sardar Bash. How it's like a 4th hit, now it's like a 5th hit from the bear. But you can supercharge it using the ability on the character itself. Upgraded with Axe, increases radius to 450, hero stacks on cast 2-5, instantly entangling them. So you just get an AoE root. Removes stack protection, so you can keep the ball rolling. So if you have... I mean, you buy a lot of attack speed on that bear, man. So can you, like, perma-stun? Or you can probably get close to it, not that hard. Because you're applying stacks on the bear and the hero. I feel like you... Is this not just, like, perma-stun? Like, what? That pierces debuff immunity? What the fuck? I must be missing something. There's no way this is how it works. You get Aghanim Scepter and you can just perma-stun people? Or perma-root? You instantly entangle on heroes and then remove stack protection, so you can just... Like, hero hit, bear hit, hero hit, bear hit, bear hit, and now they're entangled again. And you have 2.4 seconds to do that. So if you can already right-click them, like, that's not hard to do. I don't know about this. I don't know about this, Valve. This seems a little messed up. Spirit Link no longer grants attack speed or shared armor. Passively grants movement speed to both him and his bear. Lone Druid attacks now heal the Spirit Bear by default. No longer upgraded with Axe. True form, mana cost decreased to 80, duration decreased to 25, cooldown decreased to 50 seconds. So half the cooldown, a little bit more than half the duration, less than half the mana cost. No longer grants claws and demolish to him. Also provides a 130 bonus attack damage, bonus armor increase up to 20. This feels like a big buff. This feels like a big old buff. This seems broken so far. Like, they better have nerfed the bear like crazy. Lone Druid himself is an agility hero. Spirit Bear is universal. Interesting. I would have thought they would have made it strength, because it's a bear. I guess Ursa is an agility carry, so there's precedence for bears being different stats than strength. Huh. You get 6% slow resistance at level 25 when you're in true form. This is really weird. They must have taken a lot of the power of the bear and put it on him instead. So Spirit Bear is now a universal melee hero instead of a creep in the following cases. They count as melee hero attacks against Roche Banner. Okay, so like ward type things that you hit. Spirit Bear can now be targeted or affected as a hero by the following abilities. Oh, okay, so you can get stacks. You could duel the bear. You could duel the bear and it's not a meme. It might actually be a good idea in some cases. Holy shit. Spirit Bear can now break Smoke of Deceit. Oh. His death will not provide charges for these spells. Earn? Why not? You can't steal in from the bear? Why does it get these special privileges? Temporary attribute loss from Silencer Slark and other similar spells will still work. Can capture Watchers and Outposts. Starts with a TP scroll on cooldown the first time it is summoned. Receives a copy of Lone Druid's neutral item with an independent cooldown. Ability order has been changed. So demolishes its innate. It's got return, Entangling Claws, Savage Roar, Spirit Link, Fetch. So it has all the same abilities. Base HP rescaled to 1500. Base HP regen down. So it's like level 2.5 in terms of HP, and like its HP regen is shit. But you heal it all the time. Right? With Spirit Link? Yeah, your attacks now just heal it by default. I don't know about all this. 1.5 and doesn't change in terms of BAT. Base attack speed increased also. So it just attacks at the same speed of a level 4 bear, and if it hits you 5 times, you get Entangle guaranteed, and that pierces BKB. This seems fucked up, man. I feel like I'm missing the fine print here. If I'm a Lone Druid player, I'm jumping for joy right now. Base movement speed rescaled. Okay, so it's slower, but you get the 80 movement speed back. Base magic resistance increased from 0 to 25. Oh my god. Oh, Demolish grants magic resistance? I didn't know. Daytime vision range increased, so it's actually a slight nerf, technically. I mean, at early levels, it's way better, because it goes from 0 to 25. No longer gains... What is this stat gain? 4.5 strength, 4.5 agi, 0.5 int. So no dag and bear. Still has no base attributes. They are all zeros. Spirit Bear now has a separate talent tree. What is its damage at level 1? I don't know. Demolish is now an innate. Bonus building damage rescaled to just be 30% across the board. No longer grants magic resistance. Return is now considered a teleport for the hit S to cancel thing. Entangling Claws, we already kind of read how this works. Yeah, this seems broken, especially if you get Ags. With Ags, it literally just is. I don't know. Fetch now gets an attack command issued after the target. So a slight quality of life thing. And then the talents, because it has its own talent tree now. This seems kind of insane. It's all brand new. So level 10, you get magic resistance or movement speed. Level 15, you get armor or return has no cooldown and a shorter channel time. Holy shit. I guess that's not, well, you always want to be near it now because you don't have the Ags to make it go be its own thing. So now you always kind of need, I assume the previous rules still apply, or maybe they don't. And you just get Ags for free. Level 20, you get 500 health or 30 damage, and then Entangled unit damage bonus or Demolish building damage bonus at level 25. Okay. This is a very extensive rework. To me, this seems incredibly strong. It feels like Lone Druid himself is now way better. And then on top of that, you can do bullshit with the bear that you didn't have before. With just it counting, and then I can't get over the Entangling Claws change. When they first gave him Entanglement Claws, I think it pierced BKB, and like that was the problem. They were like, Lone Druid is completely broken, overpowered because of Entangling Claws, and then they gave it back and made it guaranteed on 5 hits. So it's not always going to be better, and there is the stack protection until you get Aghanim Scepters, so like you can't permastun people before that. And I guess Axe is probably not a super appealing item to go now that the bear doesn't scale the way it used to, but it also just has 4.5 strength and agility gain. Like that's kind of nuts. This is very exciting for Lone Druid players. As a Lone Druid hater, I am scared of this hero. Very much so. I would like to see some kind of like, I'm not going to theorycraft too much because I don't know enough about the bear, but like I would really try to get an Aghanim Scepter shoved on Lone Druid the hero at some point during the game. This seems very good. Luna. This shitty ability. Collision damage increased at early levels. Formation time decreased. Rotation radius decreased. Collision radius increased. This is the same. I'm pretty sure these two things balance themselves out to be the same. But it comes up faster and it deals more damage at early levels. I still think you do not put a point in it until you run out of things to put points in. I guess you get it before stats because it interacts with your innates or your facets. Okay. That's funny. Level 25, they just cut the shit. They were like, never mind, bro. Here you go. Just get plus 30 Lunar Blessing damage all the time. Summon Wolves. Luna, these are like small buffs. It looks like they're trying to push you a little bit more towards the ulti build here, which some people were already doing. They were going like Dragonlance, Yasha, Ags. Or Yasha, Ags. I don't know. I don't know. Small buff, I would say overall. Lycan. Wolf damage decreased at early levels. But wait, this is by 1 at all levels. Alright. Shapeshift health bonus decreased by 25 at all levels. This is the tiniest possible nerf you can do to Lycan. Magnus, base damage increased by 1. Diminishing return gets the +2 all attribute bonus back. Reverse polarity, cooldown decreased to 115. Okay. Wait, facet reverse polarity. Oh yeah. Marcy, remove bleeding. Yes! Fuck this fucking punch monkey, dude. God bless. God bless. Okay, core Marcy is over. At least, like, brawlic-ass core Marcy with the Helm of the Dominator is, like, gone. Thank God. That was, like, the strat that pissed me off the most in the previous patch, was playing against that. It was, like, the worst parts of playing against Marcy turned up to 1 billion. Whoopsie daisy. Get out of here, Marcy. Whoa, we're skipping ahead. Or a bunch of images are about to load and force us off our path. Mars, God's Rebuke bonus damage versus heroes reduced by 5. Cooldown reduction in Arena of Blood decreased. Wait, no. Cool. That is not a thing. You get the HP regen in Arena of Blood. You cannot get CDR. Level 20 talent, the cooldown of the ability itself got decreased. This is a small nerf. These are very small nerfs to Mars. Mana Shield no longer benefits from... No! What the fuck? This was the coolest thing ever. You could go, was it Kaya Yasha? Back in the day, Crystal Maiden had the talent that was like minus 15% mana cost or whatever, and you can do that on Medusa. And you got that and a Kaya item, and you would get Laguna Bladed, and you would literally take like 150 mana. Like something like that. Like just nothing. I think maybe that was before the Medusa rework, and that was the HP that you lost? I can't remember. Talents. Level 20 talent, Stone Gain Duration, replaced with the Gorgon's Grasp Volley, which was the bad level 25 talent. Level 25 talent, replace that with the +2 second Stone Gaze Duration. I don't know about... this feels like a nerf. Having an additional Stone Gaze Duration was like a nice thing to have, even if you're getting the level 25 talent early. It was nicer to get this early. But you're also on a hero that likes to get 25. The problem is when you hit 25, you get the 40 int. You don't go this anyway. This is a small nerf to the hero for the talent trees, and then this is just like it's cutting an interesting piece of tech out of Medusa, which I'm not happy about. Meepo's the same. Kind of a surprise. Just the universal change to the innates that are abilities, reducing the total of stat bonuses you can get. Mirana, Starstruck, second meteor damage decreased, but it scales back up to 100% again. Starstorm, second meteor damage increased as well. Okay, this is kind of weird. It's like two patch notes that kind of contradict each other, but it's fine. Cooldown decreased for early levels of Moonlight Shadow. You can get Starstorm damage at level 20. 70-second Moonlight Shadow cooldown at 25. Okay. Might pause for a second while I deal with my hiccups. Maybe not though, we'll see. Maybe it was a one and done. Monkey King, base armor decreased by 1. Bat improved slightly to 1.6. I think that's like the Juggernaut anti-mage bat. Base attack speed decreased to compensate. Probably feels the same at level 1. Stun duration for falling off the cut tree decreased. No! This is my favorite thing. This is the only part about Monkey King that I liked, is that you could cut the tree and then he would be stunned for 4 goddamn seconds. This is Underlord is the reason this happened. Morphling. Adaptive strike on flow. Stun is no longer exclusive to the facet. Wait, they nerfed flow? Or they didn't nerf it, but they took away one of the unique things that made it interesting? Come on, bro. This is also, like, why not put this on the other one? Why not show the other one and be like, it gets this? Why did they show flow and it's like, it no longer is special? What the hell? Adaptive strike. Cast range decreased at later levels by 75 at level 4. Now stuns the target for 0.5 seconds and up to 2.5. Okay, so it just works the way it used to. Like, what? They just changed it. What is the point of flow? It's so shit. Whatever. Muerta. Intelligence gain increased by 0.2. Mana cost on the calling decreased slightly at early levels. Cast range increased. Nice. The cast range on it always felt a little bit short. I don't know if the additional 20 means anything. A cast range like 580 means that they nerfed it in the past, and they made it a weird number. So going it back to 600, that's probably what it was before. Level 10 talent, replacing health with 20 attack speed. Okay, further, I like this. This actually is like further to her identity. She's supposed to be squishy. She's an int carry, you know? You can't have an int carry with a lot of HP, because you go Falcon Blade too. And usually raindrops as well. So, and then you get attack speed, which Muerta players love. They love that shit. Naga Siren, base int decreased, agility gain increased. They said stop playing her as a 5. They said Snake King, cut that shit out right now. Riptide damage increased, Deluge cooldown increased. I thought Deluge was the shit one. Because you have to manually activate it. Was it good, actually? I don't know. Or is this the one that you would do? You would do this on support. That's what it is. Can no longer target invulnerable units. Oh, it's the same thing as before. Unless this invulnerability is provided by Song of the Siren. Huh. Curious, liberal. Oh, that's what they meant by invulnerability. So stuff like Winter Wyvern ulti. I thought that it was talking about, like, Shadow Realm effects. I was wrong. Feel free, if you're raging at me in the comments right now as a result of this, I kneel. My bad. Nature's Prophet. Agility gain decreased. Thank God. Damage per gain. Yes. 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 Valve, nerf this fucking piece of shit to the ground. They buffed Nature's Call and I don't care. The treants were so shitty before. And they're probably still shitty. They buffed the damage by 1. Which, I guess it multiplies, but like, come on now. Movement speed increased as well, slightly. This is a great, is a good day. It's a good day to be alive. Never pass yourself away. Nature's Prophet nerfs are on the way. Bars. Necrophos, Profane Potency. This was, I low-key think his other facet is better. No one picks it. I think being suddenly hasted and immune to physical damage as a Necrophos is a good thing to be. But I also understand that if you go Radiance, the AoE is a nice thing to have, especially because you can... It's like alt right-click on the range of your Q, and you can see it all the time. Because it affected so many things. It affected your aura, it affected your Radiance, it affected your Q cast range. HP regen per kill decreased slightly. Who cares? That shit does not matter. They did this specifically to like discourage people from stealing kills that were already guaranteed with this. That's what it is. Death Pulse increase. Heal, you're still going to go the other one. I can't even remember what it is. Oh yeah, it's the Ghost Shroud Slow. Well, I don't know. They nerfed this one too. Maybe you do go this one now. Heartstopper regen reduction decreased from 25 to 20%. Okay. It felt really strong for him to have this. Night Stalker. Voidbringer no longer... Okay, same thing as before. Heart of Darkness no longer reduces Night Stalker's health regen by 20% during the day. Good. Innates that make you shit are bad. I can't remember. They didn't do anything for Banes, which he might have the worst innate in the game. But I guess Valve was okay with it. Because it's identity. Crippling Talent Fear DPS increased from 20 to 40. You might go it now. I can't remember what the other 21 is. Is it the HP? You just get a shitload of HP? You probably still keep that then. Nyx Assassin. Bonus damage on Mind Flare decreased. Why did they not? I really wanted them to change the innate, or the facet that burns 40% of your max mana. Just make it like 50% of current or something. You can still make it a total pain in the ass, but like, good lord. Get Octarine and Burrow on that? You're not casting spells. Spike Carapace stun duration increased at lower levels. Okay. It's a little bit of damage off of Mind Flare, a little bit more stun on Spike Carapace. It's a side grade. Most likely trying to promote a little bit more of a team-oriented playstyle than the like solo kill playstyle that a lot of people prefer to play on Nyx Assassin, and I don't blame them. You added Mind Flare for a reason, Valve. Like, let that shit rock. Ogre Magi, base damage increased by 1. Cast range on Bloodlust is above. You can't target invulnerable units. You can still target invulnerable buildings. Cool. So you can make your barracks big for no reason. Small buff to the Bloodlust attack speed talent that you often went. I think it was this, or like, I think this one is this option, or just like a shit ton of HP. It's like 35 strength or something like that. Omni base armor increased. Cooldown decreased on Repel by a meaningful amount, 5 seconds. Hammer of Purity is no longer disabled by silence. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Because it's not a right-click effect, I don't think. Still. Well, it is, but you, like, cast it. Can you get it reflected by, like, Anti-Mage? I don't know. Man, I already thought Omni was good. I thought Omni, like, as a pause 3 was really good. Just kind of shitty as a support. And then cooldown decreased on GA as well. 80 seconds. Okay. Omni 3 might be back. I know they still have the second added to the cooldown of Hammer of Purity that they used at the beginning of the patch when they changed it to no longer have a mana cost, but like, goddamn. Oracle, Fortune's End can no longer target invulnerable units, but it does affect invulnerable units in the AoE. Fate's Edict no longer has separate effects. Always disarms the target. Oh, okay, so they brought back the grief. Nice. Thanks, Valve. So you can now disarm your teammates. Mana cost decreased to 70 to compensate for the grief. Cooldown decreased to compensate for the grief. Cool. 100% magic damage resistance and disarm. Okay. Sure. Pangolier, remove double jump and thunderbolt facets. Cooldown decreased on Swashbuckle. Briefly slows enemies. Whoa. I mean, it's only 0.4 seconds, but it's also 100% slow. You get hit by one, you get hit by all of them, I suppose. Shield Crash, cooldown decreased. Mana cost rescaled. These are big Pango buffs. Holy moly. No, okay, so now the barriers is like a very simple Boolean of did you hit someone? If you did, you get a fat barrier. But if you didn't, you don't get anything. And then you can no longer hit 5 heroes and get a 200 damage barrier. Barrier damage or duration decreased as well. But the cooldown is only 7 seconds now. That's so nothing. Is the damage... Okay, the damage got hit. But I think having it that... Because this is almost half the cooldown, you know? From 12 seconds to 7 seconds. And then the damage was decreased from 250 to 200. That's still way better. And then the mana cost. So I guess, like, it's worse if you're silenced. But, like, oh well. Most spells are worse if you're silenced. It no longer slows, because they added the slow to Swashbuckle instead. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess you have your ulti still. Aghanim Scepter Swashbuckle damage decreased from 100% to 75. Okay, so when you shield crash in the ultimate, the right clicks that come out are no longer dealing full damage. Rolling Thunder has a startup now. It takes 1 second to reach full speed. No longer decreases the cooldown of shield crash. I guess you don't need that anymore. That at 7 seconds. And duration rescaled from 10 seconds to 9, 10, 11. Making it scale feels weird. I don't know about that. Talents plus on shield crash barrier, you can get it up to 365. If you hit someone, no questions asked. It's not bad. It's like the equivalent of hitting almost 2 heroes with the old version of it. You get -2 seconds on Swashbuckle cooldown. Mana cost is the same, that might be annoying. Level 20, Shield Crash radius and damage replaced with Shield Crash cooldown. So you can get it down to like, what, 5.5 seconds? Less than half of what it used to be? That's kind of crazy. Especially if you go the talent that gives you the more barrier, level 15. Level 25, 20% attack damage as Swashbuckle damage. Okay, so you just get like you get mini crits from Team Fortress 2. I don't know. That seems like a nerf to the 25. Overall, I want to say this is a buff for Pango. There's some small bits that are not buffs, but I think this is like on balance like a pretty solid buff. If your turn rate is the same when you're getting up to full speed for Rolling Thunder, it might actually be like a low key buff. I don't know. It's weird. Only being 9 seconds at level 6 kind of mitigates the impact of his power spike as well. Phantom Assassin. Active movement speed during blur increased by 3%. Very lifestealer coded. Phantom Strike now has 2 charges, but a way longer cooldown. Having 2 charges is quite interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. 12-second base charge. I mean, she's kind of Jack and Ricky's swag here, isn't she? Am I incorrect? I don't think I am. All right, Phantom Lancer. Let's see what they did. Because you can no longer do mana burn with Diffusal. Illusory armaments. Whenever an illusion of Phantom Lancer is created, it can't have less than 18% of his damage for what? Can't have less than 18% of his damage for 3 seconds. Damage increases by 2% for every 3 Phantom Lancer level ups. So 10, it goes up to 38% at level 30. Those illusions dealing almost 40% seems a little nutso boingo. I did say they need to pay restitutions to PL, so. Phantom Rush no longer provides bonus agility, cooldown rescaled to be even lower. Now provides evasion while running with a linger effect. But the evasion is lost when you get there. What? So does it linger or does it not? I assume it lingers. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Losing out on the agility kind of sucks. That hurts his farm. Juxtapose, illusion damage decreased down to 15%. But when you first create them, because of Illuminary Armaments, it can go all the way up. I mean, you hit level 6 and it's what, 24%? Or 30%. So double damage right when you hit level 6 off of Juxtapose. Because 15% up to 30. So if you're hitting, this might be a little crazy. This might be a little insane. And then a big talent rework. Level 10, you got the Phantom Rush agility. Now you get plus 3% Juxtapose illusion trigger chance. Level 15 talent, you got the Lance cooldown replaced with Doppelganger cast range. Level 15, 2.5% Phantom Rush bonus agility duration replaced with 50% Illusion Spirit Lance. Okay, so it's the Lancelot passive, but you get it as a talent now. It deals 50%, but then it's further reduced by the illusion's outgoing damage multiplier. So what? 15% of 50% is 7.5% times 10, 75%. So you're dealing less than double damage. It's purely a question of offensive versus defensive, because if you're going the Doppelganger cast range, you're not going to get caught up on cliffs on accident. But then if you're going this, you deal more magic damage. This is strange. Level 20 bonus juxtapose damage replaced with a minus 70%. Oh, well, that's no, that's not that big of a deal. I mean, it matters quite a bit, actually, but, you know, it's not as crazy as it sounds. Level 20 talent plus 15% Spirit Lance illusion damage replaced with plus 100% Spirit Lance damage. And then that gets cut in half and then cut by 15%. Except the damage. So the damage from illusory armaments, does this apply to spells as well or only right clicks? This is very interesting. They really, and plus agility gain, massive increase to 3.4. PL sounds interesting this patch. PL sounds very interesting this patch. You might be like an insane like physical burst hero now, as opposed to like War of 1,000 Cuts using the Diffusal. How long does it last? 3 seconds, but then at level 25 you get it up to 5. Or the Doppelganger cooldown, down to being like 3 seconds or whatever it is. This PL is fascinating right now. The Diffusal change, I think they did their best to make up for it. If I'm a PL player, I'm theory crafting the shit out of this right now. And I usually am a PL player. But today I'm a patch note reader. Phoenix, Sunray, health cost per second decreased, base damage per second rescaled, to be worse but then better. Max damage rescaled, to be worse and then better. Okay, they made Phoenix a little worse using Sunray early on, but later on it's better. I'm fine with that. Level 15, you get health regen 25. Nice. You know, to buy, you can sell your ankle boots. I don't know what you buy instead, but Primal Beast, Ferocity, AoE bonus per slam decreased. Simple and clean. Aww. The puckish thing, where you would intentionally try to, you would get 2 tower shots that come towards you, and then you would disjoint it with phase shift, and then you would get the HP and mana. You can't do that anymore. Aw, that sucks. That was a cute little thing to do all the time. But they did nerf Puck significantly. Pugna. Siphoning Ward, damage to heal decreased. Damage to mana decreased. Okay, so healing yourself using Siphoning Ward is not as good. Mitigates a little bit of his strength against heroes like Storm Spirit and Skywrath Mage and stuff like that. Leshrac. Level 15 talent health reduced to 300. Level 20 talent life drain heal decreased. Okay, so these are just like small nerfs. Except for the level 25 Nether Blast damage talent. So I guess they want you to play him a little bit more as a core and a little bit less as a support. But you'll probably see people doing the exact same shit. So Queen of Pain Bondage nerfed from 20% to 16 with returning spell damage. Razor, Eye of the Storm, Storm Surge cooldown reduction decreased. Okay. Both of the facets were solid. I think maybe you go the other one now, just to deal more damage off of spell lamp / attack damage. Storm Surge, chance to strike increased to 20%. Cooldown decreased from 3 to 2. Okay. Okay. So now it has a cooldown of 0.5 when you're in Eye of the Storm. That's what this means. Okay. Ricky facets removed. Backstab no longer levels with Cloak and Dagger. Agility damage multipliers rescaled. For Ricky's level up. Now works on allied units at 25. Wait, on allied units? Oh, for denying. I was like, why would you do that for denying heroes? But no, it's for denying creeps. Damage is now done as a separate instant of damage instead of part of the attack damage. Templar Assassin in Shambles. Can't really think of a lot of other situations for that, since you can't use it on ward units like Tombstone and whatnot. Blink Strike, 2 charges. Base restore time replaced with a 4-second... Oh, no. It doesn't have charges anymore. Look at that. Phantom Assassin is not ripping off of Ricky. Ricky is now ripping off of Phantom... They're just kind of trading. That's what they're doing. 4-second cooldown is fucking nothing. And then instead of dealing bonus magic damage, you just deal more physical damage. Okay. That's probably worse overall. 15 at level 1 is kind of pathetic. Mana cost on tricks, rescaled to be 65. Cooldown increased at early levels. Radius decreased slightly. 40% attack damage replaced with 90 flat damage, but it still applies bonus damage from backstab. But it's a separate instance of damage. It has to clarify. No longer provides bonus agi, attacks 2 random targets by default. Oh, kind of like Aghanim Scepter. Which is slightly reworked. No longer increases the number of targets attacked. Allows to hide within allied creeps. Increases ability duration by 1 and attack count by 2, but only when you hide within an ally. Is that heroes, or could you hide in an allied creep as well? No longer provides increased attack count on non-ally casts. Provides 50% bonus movement speed to the ally Ricky's hiding in. Okay. Cloak and Dagger grants bonus experience when getting a hero kill and 100 experience when getting a hero assist. He can't farm. That remains Ricky's weakness. And then it looks like these are mostly shuffled around. No, it's changing to compensate for his abilities. This is interesting. I think having a 4-second cooldown, like Blink Strike being able to like boom, boom, made him an absolute menace really early on in the lane if you had like a kill threat with like Ricky Razor. You could play him as like a pause 4. I think they kind of are doing their best to remove that by making it a 4-second cooldown. But you'll still see people doing it. And then the tricks of the trade, it's weird. They gave him the contract killer, or which facet was it? They gave him the bonus XP on kills. They basically gave that to him for free, but then they also made him farm better. So maybe they want you to play him as a carry? I don't know. I don't know. This is weird. You can match the same agility damage multiplier once you hit level 20 as well. And now you're you're pretty good at denying now, I think. I mean, not so much early on because it's a small multiplier. 0.6 is not very much, but it's quite a bit in the early game. All right, Rubik base damage increased by 1. Land sub ability no longer cancels channeling or interrupts movement. So you can pick someone up, begin to TP away, and then throw them to the ground, and you don't have to worry about canceling your own TP. Okay, whatever. That's a little harder with the level 15 talent now being Fade Bolt damage reduction. I don't know what the other one is though. Level 20 talent Burrow Strike cooldown reduction increased from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. They made the Burrow Strike cooldown better? Epicenter pulses decreased. Okay, this sounds okay. Sand King did ungodly amounts of damage with his ulti in the late game, so this seems like a good thing. I'm surprised that they didn't nerf him further. He was a very popular pick at TI, and a very popular pick in pubs right now as well, and a very successful one too, I think. Shadow Demon. Bonus base damage decreased off of Disruption. Can no longer target invulnerable. Okay, and then just the invulnerable targeting rules. Shadow Fiend, Agility Grain increased. Souls on hero kills increased from 3 to 4. This is kind of... I really expected them to do something with his Mask of Madness ability. There's a bunch of ability reworks that I just am not seeing. But, you know, reality and expectation. Remember that thing I said earlier, like an hour plus ago. Massive Serpent Ward, multiplier decrease from 10 to 9. Okay, so it's probably still the better facet, to be completely honest. Total damage heal increased on Shackles at early levels to flat 100. Nice, clean number. Mass Serpent Ward cooldown decreased by 10 seconds at level 3. Synaptic Split no longer has decreased number. Okay. No one really goes that fast anyway. Core Silencer is a meme. Arcane Curse Silence multiplier decreased. It's a little bit too much, I think. Glaives of Wisdom in Steel increased. Maybe they are trying to push. Maybe Core Silencer is going to become a thing. Maybe. I hope it doesn't. I hate that shit. It's useless. You can't farm. Skywrath Mage. Cooldown reduction, talent on Ancient Seal decreased, Conkshot Slow increased on the same. So you probably go this now, unless you're in a matchup where Ancient Seal is particularly important. Slardar, what'd they do to him? Wait, they buffed him? Hold up. Okay, so they made the base puddle bigger from Slithering Crush, but they made the Ag's puddle smaller. Bash duration decreased from 1.1 to 1 second. Bonus damage decreased at early levels. Really? I expected them to nerf this hero considerably, and like this is kind of a buff. Like I don't like going Axe on the hero personally. The Bash of the Deep thing makes it harder to permabash people, but the damage goes all the way back up to 200 at level 4. So you still just like obliterate supports in the late game. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I think you still go the sprint duration at level 10. I'm pretty sure that's the other talent, especially because they didn't nerf or take away sea legs. I was really expecting them to do something with that. Slark, okay. Big rework. I think this is the last big rework. No, Treant Protector. So removed Leeching Leash and Dark Reef Renegade facets, removed Barracuda Innate. Wow, they really cleared him out. Essence Shift is now an Innate, improves with Slark's level. Duration scaled 75, so 15 seconds plus 2.5 seconds each time Slark levels up. So it's actually longer at level 30. And then when do you reach parity? 60. So at level 20 you reach parity? There was another hero like that too. Maybe level 20 is what they're trying to balance these things around. Pounce, you just get Leeching Leash now, I suppose. Okay, new ability. Passive, autocast attack modifier. Slices an enemy with his salty shiv. Stealing the target's 3 movement speed, 3 health regen, and... what? Okay, it's got a cooldown. And 6% of their health restoration. Not regeneration? I'm sure that's what they meant to say. Each subsequent use of Saltwater Shiv refreshes the duration of all Shiv stacks. So they made him worse? They made Essence Shiv worse to deal with because of this bullshit? At least it has a mana cost. Seal duration 12 seconds, but it refreshes. Cooldown. Okay, so it's kind of shit in the lane. You still max Dark Pact 100%. This is funny. Ignores attack backswing. What does that mean? That might be weird. So can you just like, can you use it as like a pseudo Echo Saber? Because it's just faster because it doesn't have a backswing? Enemies with health restoration, I guess you just like perfect orb walking. Below minus 100% will not lose health from health restoration sources. Oh, I was kind of hoping that's how it worked. Shadow Dance now passively grants 48 movement speed. Okay, so they moved the Barracuda regen over here. I had a feeling that, okay, it literally just is Barracuda rules and mechanics just moved into Shadow Dance instead. And then duration of Depth Shroud decreased. Thank God, dude, this ability's messed up. And some slight taps, or not even taps, just changes. There's actually a buff here for the Dark Pact cooldown. Yeah, okay, this sounds interesting. Saltwater, it kind of sounds like you ignore it until later on, and then you just turn it on and kind of forget about it. The cooldown being 4 seconds means that like you can maybe get 2 of them off, but you're stealing 3 movement speed, 3 health regen, and 6% of their health restoration. That doesn't seem like that much. And then Slark is kind of weak to mana burn already, so giving him another way to spend mana, even if it is like it's 20, but like that it used to be nothing. I guess this is a buff. He's basically keeping everything that he had plus Saltwater Shiv. Is he like an anti-regen hero now? Like you smack a Necro with this and then maybe it matters? It's quite weird. I don't really know what to make of Saltwater Shiv. I think I have to see it in action. Ignores attack backswing is such a curious combination of words with no period at the end. Snapfire. Buckshot. Bumbleclot. Big Snapfire. Smack. Pussy Wagon. Now affects only attacks made on enemy heroes. Okay. Still ricochet on miss, but they won't have any extra damage or glance chance. Okay. Fire Snap Cookie. Mana cost increased to 105 across the board. Mortimer's Kiss damage decreased. Okay, her shard was maybe a little strong. Base damage per shot decreased. Thank God, dude. You got hit by a little shredder early on in the lane. It's like, where did my HP go? Like, the math did not add up with how much damage you were taking versus how much damage it said it would do. Assassinate. Can no longer target a attack damage increased. Oh, so you actually get like a little mini crit from TF2 whenever you cast Assassinate now. Spectre. Now an agility hero. Well, in the Spectre video, when I talked about her being a universal carry, that is no longer the case. Base damage increased by 2. Base attributes unchanged. Damage at level 1 unchanged. It's just like nothing happened. A hero for chuds. Damage gain per level decreased. Damage at level 30 decreased by 27. Base attack time made worse. Base attack speed increased. What is going on? Desolate is now an innate ability. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, let's go through it in order, but holy fuck. Desolate, now an innate ability, passive improves with Spectre's level. Damage rescaled. 25 plus 2. So this one's actually worse. Not balanced around being level 2. Or level 20. Because at level 20, it's 65. But level 30, it's 85, which is a lot. And I'm sure there's a talent for it later. Spectral Dagger, mana cost decreased. Thank goodness. Spectral Illusions now also benefit from the Shadow Path. Finally. Shadow Step is now a basic ability. An uncontrollable illusion which follows the target and attacks it. The illusion exists for 5 seconds upon reaching the target and takes 200% damage. Oh, it's not global anymore. So what's her ultimate? She got Haunt back. Okay. Mana cost. On cast, the illusion moves at a speed of 900, then it has 135% of Spectre's movement speed upon reaching the target. Reality sub. Okay, so it destroys the illusion when you go to it with Shadow Step. Dispersion minimum radius increased. Okay. Can no longer be cast to no effect. Distinct sound. Mana cost decreased. Thank you. Disabled by roots. Always destroys the target illusion. 0.2 second travel time to reach the target. Spectre is invulnerable during this time. Okay, so so you have like a little Manta Dodge style effect, except it's 10 times the length. Now has a distinct, it's not actually 10 times the length, but it's way longer. Now has a distinct sound between casts on Shadow Step and Haunt Illusions. Can't wait to hear that. I bet they played it in reverse. Now Spectre's ultimate ability, mana cost rescaled to 175 at max level. Duration scales, cooldown scales. Haunt outgoing damage decreased. Wow, that scales like crazy. 30% is nothing. That's just a mobility tool. Each illusion now spawns near the enemy in the direction towards Spectre. Okay. Upgrades with Aghanim Scepter reduces cooldown by 20 seconds. Enemies are feared away from Spectre with 50% reduced movement speed in a 400 area. Whoa, 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 whoa. This... I'm not 100% sure what to make of this. This kind of makes me think of Sark, where it's just you have everything that you had before, except you no longer have the global cast point of Shadow Step. Cast range. So, I like Spectre. My big yippee moment for this is actually decreasing all of her mana costs. Because if you played Spectre after they added a mana cost to Haunt, or not to Haunt, to Reality, it was like 40 mana, and that's so much, because you're using it twice, ideally. You're using it to get there, and you're using it to get back. This is very interesting. I don't think you go Aghanim Scepter immediately, but being able to, like, stun them effectively when you get in. The thing is, like, in many situations, you would be going Abyssal Blade, because whoever you're going on first with Haunt or Shadow Step, you want to, like, kill them. You want to kill them until they're dead. So you would go like Nullifier Orchid, and then you'd hopefully eventually get an Abyssal Blade. I mean, it was like a late game luxury item. But the idea here is kind of the same. Like, you want to get on them and immediately kill them. Them running away from you, even with a 50% reduced movement speed, and they're also slowed by your Q, I assume. Well, no, because you no longer have to twist the knife. You have to cast that manually. Getting rid of twist the knife is kind of a huge deal, now that I think about it. This is different. I can't do the math in my head. I really have to think about whether or not this is a Spectre buff or nerf. Shadow Step was such a good ability. Being universal was awesome. Maybe you go like Diff now. Maybe it's like Orchid Diff, and you just play like super mid game, just like smash Haunt off CD, and then just like kill Warlocks whenever you can. Maybe that's the vibe now. This is very interesting. I would like to experiment a little bit with Spectre. This might be the most interesting rework I've seen so far. But we haven't seen Treant yet. Who knows what that guy's up to. Spirit Breaker. Stun duration increased on Charge of Darkness by 0.1. This is a nothing burger. This is a pretty big nothing burger. Bulldoze Barrier decreased slightly from the talent. That's nice. Storm Spirit buffs. Attack speed slow from Overload reduced. That'll matter in the lane. Galvanized charge loss on death reduced as well. That will matter everywhere else except for the lane. Even then, it could matter. Aghanim Scepter cast range bonus. So Superman's Fen went from plus 350 to plus 25%. Why are we doing that? Also increases projectile speed. That's kind of funny. 25% cast range bonus. Is that what we're doing now? I didn't see a patch note on Aether Lens where it's percentage based. Cleave damage rescaled. Oh, it only goes all the way up to 90%. You're still going to probably max it, though. Warcry cooldown reduced. Barely. Techies base agility increased. Damage at level 1 increased by 1 because he's universal. You get 2 more agility, you get 1 more damage. Level 20 talent. Sticky Bomb latch / explosion radius to just damage. So you still, I mean, this shit is like the freest skill shot in the game. I refuse to call it a skill shot personally. TA. Armor reduction decrease off of meld. It's the same at max level. It's only 2 early on. And damage decreased by 5. It's the same. It's the same. Psionic Trap damage rescaled up to 400. So it's worse early, better late. Psionic Projection damage increased to 400. I didn't even know it did damage. I figured the whole bots literally wherever you want, like a boof-ass Nature's Prophet was the primary appeal. But maybe I was wrong. My chest just popped. Terrorblade, Dark Unity. Illusions that are outside no longer have a damage penalty. Damage increase for illusions within 60%. Illusion damage. Okay, that explains it. I was like, holy shit. Okay. So this is a nerf, actually. You read the first line and you're like, oh, goody, goody, hooray. And then you read the rest and it's like, oh, fuck. Damage, reflection damage decreased as well. So you have to be closer to get all the... This is a significant nerf to Terrorblade. This hurts his like split a lot. Like being able to just send mirror images out to farm the wave while you farm jungle and stay safe from the LCs. Yeah, that's actually a considerable nerf to Terrorblade. This is one of the harsher nerfs that we've seen so far. For a hero that I don't necessarily think deserved it. Tidehunter, Goosh. Damage rescaled on the Goosh. Does a tiny bit less early, does a bit more late. Attack bonus damage increased on Anchor Smash up to 200. Goddamn. And then some talent changes. So Gush Slow increase. It looks like just some, maybe some slight buffs. Oh, you get a talent for Ravage cooldown now at level 15. Smashing. Smashing. Blubber effect triggers Anchor Smash instead of Anchor Smash affects buildings. What? Okay, they brought it back at 25. They got rid of 50% chance of Anchor Smash on attacks, replaced with Anchor Smash affect buildings. Valve does not appear to be a big fan of AC Deso Tidehunter. So, and I can't say I blame them. And then small buff to the Ravage Thunderation talent at 25. That's a good alternative. I don't know. I feel like this is an interesting choice now between Ravage being stronger and you being able to hit buildings as a Timber or as a Tidehunter. Got Timber on the brain because he's next. Timothy Bursaw, base movement speed decreased. Good. Make him slow. 270. It's only 280, but you know, it should be 270. Whirling Death Tree bonus damage decreased, thank fuck. Reactive armor max stacks decreased by 2 across the board. Barrier for Magnum Scepter decreased. Okay, Timbersaw needed some nerfs, so this is a nice thing to see. Tinker, small buff to his mana loss, mana cost reduction talent at level 10. Hey, look, he has the Medusa talent. Defense Matrix Duration, which was honestly kind of useless, has been replaced with the plus 40 int. So there you go. Tiny, strength gain increased from 4.0 to 4.2. He's got 0 agility, so he needs it. Avalanche Stun Duration applies its stun as an aura in the area. No longer affected by status. Okay, so there's not situations where like you can pop BKB between the stuns, I suppose. It's stun as an aura in the... Oh, in the same way that like Night Stalker Silence is an aura. That's what it means. It's not dependent on the effect. It's just, it's a thing on the ground, you know? Tree Throw. No longer has separate damage bonus. Uses Tree Grab's value instead. That's a buff. Shout out to Tree Grow. Grow movement speed bonus rescaled to be better. Helping him mitigate nothing. It's just makes him slightly faster later on, but slightly slower early. Stream Protector. Okay. Whoa. A lot of stuff. And then we have my baby boy troll. Nature's Guise, no longer upgraded with Shard. Now be activated while tree walking to make him invisible unless he attacks or loses the buff. Linger time of 2 seconds. No mana cost. Cooldown 50. What's the duration? Just forever? Cool. Every 2 level ups, it... Wait, that's a weird way of doing it. Down to 8 seconds at level 29. Huh. 2 second linger time is kind of crazy. That's enough time for you to walk out and bonk somebody from invis. And it's like a free ability. Nature's Grasp no longer does 50% more damage when damaging slow when touching a tree. And then they just made it better. Creep penalty decreased. Okay, so Nature's Prophet, Tree and Protector can hit creeps better now. That's great. That's what we've always wanted, is Tree and Protectors to hit creeps. Leech Seed, ability reworked, passive autocast attack modifier. What is this? What is this? Tree and Protector's attack plants a life-sapping seed in an enemy unit, dealing an extra 80 magic damage. Enemy is bound, emits 2 healing pulses. Once upon application and 1 upon expiration, healing up to 5 allies. That's a weird limitation. 45 plus 20% of the damage dealt by the attack. No mana cost. Omnitrient. Omnitrient dual melee strength offlane, where you just both hit your abilities that have no mana cost on an anti-mage over and over again. That sounds fun. Not for the anti-mage. Sounds fun for everybody else. No longer has a creep penalty for healing. Cool. How long is the duration? 1.5, and does 2 healing pulses equivalent to that. So in reality, it's 90 plus 40% of the damage dealt, which isn't a ton, you know? But it's also on like a low cooldown with no mana cost, and it roots them. So it seems good. It seems pretty good. Okay, that's interesting. The old version of Leech Seed really felt underwhelming, and it was in the lane for a very long time. Living Armor no longer grants armor, grants 100 damage block from player-controlled sources. But the effect is decreased over time. Damage block affects any type of damage. Huh. The heal ends earlier if the damage block is reduced to 0, and instances of less than 20 are ignored by Living Armor. They are neither blocked nor counted towards block decrease. Okay. I'm struggling to think of damage over time effects that are below 20. I know that they exist, but I can't immediately think of what they are. Like Pugnasuck. There you go. Is that below 20? I don't know. Duration decreased to 12 seconds. Heal per second increased. No cooldown change though. I was expecting a cooldown reduction. Oh, the heal per second though is quite big. Overgrowth. And it only is player controlled sources. So like if you throw this on your mid laner and they tank creeps, that's okay. And they're getting, you know, all this. HP regen. Overgrowth, now upgraded with Ag Scepter. Did they get rid of Eyes in the Forest? Oh, it's a shard! Okay. Overgrowth, Scepter, reduces cooldown to 60 seconds. When casting it, draws power from the earth, becoming massive. How massive are we talking? I like my heroes big. Gaining 100% strength, phase movement, splashing attack. What the fuck is this? Fixed movement speed of 345. Does that mean unslowable? Buff is undispellable. How long is the duration? 16 seconds. Right-click Treant might be a thing now? Maybe? Where you go Super Saiyan? Or I guess you become a kaiju. This is fascinating. This actually sounds really fun. Eyes in the Forest is now a shard. Overgrowth is no longer applied. Okay. They're just wards. And they have the same health as Observer wards. And they expire after 5 minutes. So you don't need a Quelling Blade anymore. You can just smack it. Trees can be attacked when revealed by True Sight. Attacks will remove the ability effect without destroying the tree itself. Charge restored time increased. As you... Okay, so it keeps the charge system. I mean, it's a much less interesting ability, but it's just like wards, which is a good thing to have. And then talents change to accompany it. Plus 50 base damage at level 10. They really want you to right-click a Treant. Living Armor Hero per second increased up to 4, so you can get 17 over the course of how long? 12 seconds? That's quite a bit of healing. 10% more Leech Seed damage to healing. Leech Seed bonus damage increased from 45 to 80%. So you can get plus 130 damage off of that. Well, no, that's from the Leech Seed. Well, I guess if you're right-clicking to apply, that is 130 more damage, plus an additional amount of healing because of the plus 50 base damage. Living Armor bonus, plus 20 Living Armor damage block, so up to 120. That sounds kind of useless. I would much rather have just like the Leech Seed bonus damage, I think. And then you can get minus 3 seconds on the Leech Seed cooldown. So you can get down to 3 seconds. And it's a 1.5 second root. Hold up now. Hold up now. So 50% uptime on a root that also heals everyone. Sounds fair. Troll Warlord, bonus armor increased. Hooray! Whirling axe damage at level 15 talent. You still don't take it. Level 20 Berserker's Rage armor increased. You still don't take it. Well, sometimes you do. Tusk, gather radius decreased. Cool. Nerfs it as a defensive tool. Walrus Punch, bonus damage increased. They want you to right click his Tusk as well, and they didn't nerf his axe. Holy shit. Underlord, strength gain slightly increased. Base int slightly increased. Cast range on Firestorm slightly increased. I guess they want Underlord to be better. Okay. But they don't want Pit of Malice to slow you as much. And Fiend's Gate DPS increased from 100 to 125. I can't remember what the other one is, but you probably go that instead. Is it the Ashfura damage duration? Maybe that's a really old one. I don't play much Underlord. I'm more of a Tide Hunter, sort of role queue warrior. Undying Soul Rip cooldown decreased. Same at level 4. And the talent for it is better. Okay. So Ursa, Earthshock, Aghanim Shard reworked, applies 3 Fury. Aw, I liked his shard. It was fun. You could hit it on reaction to like being hit by things. That's a talent though. Enrage cooldown decreased. Can you apply 5 Fury? Oh no, they replaced it. Oh. I got excited for a completely different reason. I wanted to flex my reaction speed, and now I just deal more damage on a hero that already deals a fuck load of damage. Cooldown decreased by 10 seconds at level 1. That is not enough to make up for losing that. That makes me so sad. Ursa was very strong, so I guess it makes sense. But this also makes you better at bursting people, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise. It just, you have to be more careful, and you have to buy an Aghanim Scepter and an Octarine. Level 20 talent, Earthshock applies 2 Fury swipes replaced with 0.5% Maul health as damage. Maul is such a shitty innate. That's another one that like kind of sucks. Like, it scales good, yeah, but, like, you don't really care about your base damage as Ursa anyway, and then it also just makes the lane harder. Like, because you kinda have to use Fury Swipes in order to, like, get last hits. I'm not happy about this change. I see it as a very big Ursa nerf, but maybe it was a long time coming, because that shit was fucked up. Vengeful Spirit. Magic Missile, cooldown rescaled. No longer swap invulnerable units on Nether Swap. We had that before already. Wave of Terror armor reduction decreased. You know, I really thought this was another hero that I really thought they were gonna like smack hard. Oh well. Oh well. We're gonna have to put up with fucking Venge Ags for another number patch. I hate it so much. It's fun when I'm doing it, when anyone else is doing it, that shit is annoying. I guess removing her ability to reduce armor by 10 is good. Now, well, still reducing it by 9. Venomancer. Plague wards created by Venomous Scale have 75% health and damage. Thank goodness. Base damage for Duff decreased. Thank goodness. Venom was so good. This guy was like a late patch monster. Like, at the beginning of the patch, people didn't really take it too seriously because his innate just looked goofy. It was one of the ones that you forget about, but like, holy moly. Ugh. And you get like Aghanim's scepter, and it's like 100% or whatever it is. It's just fucked up. It feels like 1,000,000,000%. I don't know what it actually is off the top of my head, but it's too much, and now it's slightly less on the innate. Viper, Caustic Bath. Time to max, effect increase. Topson, what have you done? Mana cost decreased on poison attack. They really want you to stop maxing your W in lane, I guess. And then talent predator damage per missing health increased slightly. I don't remember what his other level 20 talent is, but I imagine you still won't go this. Maybe. I don't know. Visage. What'd they do? I don't see any changes to Soul Assumption. That makes me nervous. Move speed drain increased on Grave Chill, but only at later levels. Gravekeeper's Cloak. Familiars now have their own copy of Grave... Oh, visual change only. Okay. Because they already had it, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I'm getting so like, whoa! Summon Familiars. Familiars now have their own ability to independently recall to Visage. Visage? Third familiar is now automatically added to an existing control group when created. Nice. Thank you, Valve. Okay, and then Gravekeeper's Cloak recovery time instead of the armor. Sure, whatever. Why not? Not nerfing Soul Assumption or the facet that gives him bonus gold off of Soul Assumption kills is kind of crazy. This is like a buff to Visage. This is a... Why would they buff this hero? This is a visual change only, but like this is like a meaningful buff because this is also because it's drain. It's not just that you're taking away 30% movement speed, you're gaining 30% movement speed as well. That's a 60% movement speed swing, though obviously the numbers of your movement speed are going to be different, probably. This is... I do not like this. I do not like this at all. This makes me upset. Void Spear, Resonant Pulse, Scepter Silence duration decreased. They nerfed him? They nerfed him? Is this because of 9 class? Is this because of what 9 class did? Why do we have to pay for that? I'm not a fan of this either. I thought Void Spirit was like, you know, he wasn't a weak hero, but I definitely don't think he was a problem child to the previous patch. I guess this was really strong. Yeah, whatever. Warlock. Cooldown increased on Chaotic Offering by 5 seconds. Quick, guys, we have to nerf Warlock. Level 15, the attack speed upheaval talent decreased slightly. Level 20, Golem on Death. Oh, did they get rid of it? Oh no, it's a level 25 talent now, okay. Plus 3 Fatal Bonds talent. Okay, so his level 25 is kind of crazy. Plus 3 Fatal Bonds targets is a big deal. It doesn't sound like it'd be that big of a deal, but like, trust, it is. That's crazy. That you go that. I think you go this more than Golem on Death. Golem on Death is very funny, but like I think adding additional Fatal Bonds targets, because it's multiplicative damage, right? Especially if you have AoE stuff already. Like, that's way more. Holy moly. This is really good. The Legacy of Girls Night with the 5th Golem is tough. But man. And you can just get plus 25%. Holy moly. This is actually really good. I feel like this is the tiniest of nerfs possible, and then his talents are like way better, except for the upheaval attack speed, which is a little bit of a shame. Weaver, attack damage increased from the Swarm up to 33 at level 4. That's barely anything. Aghanim Scepter now also reduces cooldown by 10 seconds. So what is it now? 20 seconds? I think. Oh wait, no, it's lower than that. I can't remember. Weaver buffs. Sure, whatever, why not? I played him earlier today, he felt alright. Agility gain increased on Wind Ranger. Damage gain per level increased as a result. Universal. Gale Force duration decreased. Nice. Super annoying trying to hit tier 3s, and then she uses Gale Force, and you're just like, eh. Trying to like waddle like a toddler towards the tier 3, just deal a little bit of damage, and then get pushed away immediately again. Winter Wyvern, base damage increased by 1. Base attack range increased by a little bit. Sure, it felt a little bit short. Bonus attack range decreased on Arctic Burn to compensate, so it's the same. And then Winter's Curse attack speed increased by 5. Okay, very small buffs, but like maybe meaningful. Winter Wyvern felt a little underplayed. Sure, why not? Witch Doctor. Oh, I see a bunch. Malpractice. Burst damage does not apply from non-hero units. Okay. Voodoo Restoration. Activation mana cost decreased. Get fucked Rubik players. It's now easier to prevent him from stealing your ulti. Mana per second also rescaled, a little bit lower. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just easier to keep Voodoo Restoration going. Well, easier to turn it on and then also keep it going. Maledict now also affects player-controlled creeps. That's why they changed this. Okay, that makes sense. When I read this, I was like, can you Maledict lane creeps? Like, I don't think you can. It'd be kind of funny if you could, and you can play it almost like a Sand King. Kind of a waste of a pretty strong spell unless you hit the entire creep wave and the hero, and you keep them in place to kill the creeps, which is a difficult thing to do. Death Ward, Aghanim Scepter bounce radius decreased by 75, down to 575. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to nerf to Aghanim Scepter Death Ward, so there you go. Level 15 talent, Maledict AoE replaced with Maledict Duration. So you get another pop. Plus 8-second Maledict Duration from level 25 replaced with minus 6 seconds Paralyzing Cast cooldown. What's the cooldown usually? It's like 15 seconds? That's kind of crazy. Well, no. You probably still go the Death Ward damage, even with this being removed. It looks like they're trying to remove some of the power from Death Ward and redistribute it throughout the rest of his kit. Maledict affecting player control creeps is a pretty funny one. It's like, well, we neutered Helm of the Dominator, but just to be sure, we're going to also let you Maledict Centaurs and Satyrs and Croakers and all those. Wraith King, we're almost at the end. Impact damage increased on Wraithfire Blast. Nice, I can use it to secure range creeps better when I when I level it level 1 instead of getting the crit. And the talents. Talent health decreased. You might go the Wraithfire stun duration. No. You already kind of sometimes did. And then the 60 attack speed down to 50. That's fine. Zeus, Arc Lightning jumps decreased from 15 to 11. That'll make it way harder to make quad jungle stacks and then farm them at level 7, but whatever. That's kind of a significant nerf. Was he a problem? Level 25 talent static field damage increased as well. I think the other one is like AoE Lightning Bolt, right? You probably still go that. There you go. Those are the heroes. So in review, I'm fascinated by the Treant rework. I'm really curious as to how that's going to work out. It sounds fun. That's the number one thing that I'll say, is it sounds like a really good time to be huge. to be a big old fat tree. The Spectre one is like I want to mess around with it. I feel like this is something where she's going to be her win rate is going to plummet into the earth, and then people are going to figure out what to do. Losing Twist the Knife is really sad. I also didn't talk about it when I was talking about it earlier, but removing Spectral will now allow you to block creeps, which is nice. Phase movement is cool, but like you miss out on a lot of things with permanent phase movement. You can't body block, you can't block creeps. That's pretty much it. But you know, Slark is weird. I need to see more of Saltwater Shiv in action. I'm not going to be messing around too much in demo mode today. Just kind of theory crafting in my head. Ricky is interesting. I think he's solidly a carry now. Phantom Lancer is a freak. I'm really not sure what to make of him. The math is very hard to do in my head. I have a feeling that he's going to just be like a physical burst carry now, even though you can't build crit with him. And then you don't, all of your bonus damage is no longer converted to base damage either. So there's some, I'm not, you don't go diff anymore on Phantom Lancer. Or maybe you do. Maybe you do. Just not being able to burn mana with it is crazy. I can't, like, look at all of the stuff that they had to give him as Christmas presents in order to make up for the fact that you can no longer burn people down with diff. It's a big thing. I don't know. Pangolier sounds fun. Now you get to hit more buttons. Hitting buttons is fun. Oracle can grief again. Hooray! Omni Knight being able to cast Hammer of Purity while silenced is funny, and some nice little buffs to him. I think him as a pause 3 might come back, even though Hammer of Purity this doesn't really affect that much, especially in the context of the lane. But hey, Ninja's Prophet got nerfed. Ooh, God is real. God is real, and his name is Gabe Newell. Naga Siren changes are interesting. I don't think you're going to see her as a pause 5 anymore. I think they really did their best to kill it, especially with the max HP regen decrease as well, which I don't even think I mentioned. Yeah. So nice Marta buffs. Kind of surprised about the lack of Morphling and Meepo changes. Why did they do this? Why did they? I love Medusa. If you're watching this and you're paying attention, fun little spoiler for you. I'm starting work on the Medusa PowerPoint, and it's gonna be something very different from anything else I've ever done before. I look forward to it. Lone Druid is fucking insane. I cannot get over what they've done. If this works out the way I think it works out, this hero is going to be capital B broken. And they're going to really have to, like, guaranteed root, insane scaling with this guy. I don't understand. Like, and that also just like being able to kill Phoenix Egg. Like, can we just talk about that? Like, just being able to kill Phoenix Egg with Spirit Bear. Like, this hero counters Phoenix now. You know? Before, Phoenix kind of countered him. Because you could reduce the attack speed of Spirit Bear, and then he can't kill you with Egg without using his hero, and that means his hero is close to Egg, which means he's gonna die. Now, this hero counters Phoenix. Like, just this change. And allocation of power more towards Lone Druid himself, because now you have 2 units that can right-click, and Lone Druid himself was always able to deal damage to the Egg. But now it's him and the bear. Rest in piss, Slashback. Kez changes, I'm not going to make any more comments on. Jug nerfs, I think he's still going to be pretty good. They're pushing core IO for sure. They want you to play like with the shitty Helm of the Dominator. Or like maybe it's IO and a support and you play him safe lane. Or maybe off lane and you just spam spirits because the cooldown is reduced. I think that's what you do. I think you play off lane IO and you just spam spirits. Like you max spirits. You get 1 point in tether, 1 point in overcharge, and then you max spirits. You go like 1-3-1. Shout out to the Reddit Hoodwink players. They won. I bend the knee. Yeah. Enchantress nerfing the Ag strat that, thank God, Valve recognized how broken that shit was. The era of Earthshaker is hopefully coming to an end. This hero has been very good for a very long time. Not even a very long time for one patch, but this one patch was like one of the longest ones we've ever had. Earth Spirit changes, I'm not going to comment too much on. I think this is like a lot of set dressing, and he's ultimately going to do the exact same shit that he did before, minus pulling people out of Black Hole. And Clinks, of course. Clinks. Why not? I'm not going to comment anything. I think giving him Searing Arrows back is going to make him a much stronger laner. I think some of the changes that they made to the Skeleton Archers, being able to direct them just by right-clicking instead of using Tar Bomb, because you don't have Tar Bomb anymore, is like a pretty good change. And Chen has a big fat pure nuke now. Or maybe not a big fat pure nuke, but he has a pure nuke. So Brewmaster is also very this is if you're a Brewmaster player, if you're a one of the guys who casted the German cast of the International, for example, and is in my comment section quite a bit, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Because this shit seems belligerent, personally. Octarine Refresher Brewmaster, which you could do way back in the day. I don't know if you're doing that anymore. Bloodseeker got some help. I might try to give him a shot. Who else? That's pretty much it. So there was a little bit more at the end. So let's go now. Oh, a little bit of a spoiler. Additional improvements. Multiplayer demo hero mode. Hey, that's cool. That is a very nice tool. Oh, nice. And they added Roche and Torm and many. Okay, you can spawn neutral creeps. You can control time. This is great. Thank you very much, Valve. Demo mode is an incredibly important thing. 421 Beauty Wizard. 420 Booty Wizard was his name, I think. I'm not sure. Oh, Cappy Brawler is Capybara. Very funny. 420 Booty Wizard is the GOAT. The greatest Dota 2 fan there ever was. Added buffs tab to post game. Players can view the number or duration of buffs and debuffs. Oh god, so you can flame your Ogre Magi with accurate information about how little he casts his E on you. And ability drop stuff. Okay. Cool. I mean, choke and die. So there you go. That's gameplay update 7.40. I know I didn't dive too deep into the new hero. I will probably make a video about him tomorrow, kind of breaking him down and talking about my thoughts. This is going to go up tonight, shortly after the update went live. I mean, shortly, I've been recording for over 3 hours now. So the video will probably be maybe 2.5 hours long. So not quite the 8-hour long purge duration that I originally anticipated myself doing, but you know, for the most part, pretty fun. First impressions of the patch, very interesting. So there are big reworks that I really like, and then there are some neutral items that I'm interested in. But at the same time, there were a lot of heroes that I expected bigger changes for that didn't really get any major changes. Or very small changes. Visage not getting nerfed, Visage not getting nerfed, Visage not getting nerfed is like insanity to me. But like, whatever. And then Nature's, whoa, where are we? And then Nature's Prophet is like over, which is cool. So expect some videos from me about Largo, the bardfrog. And thank you very much for watching. Peace on planet Earth.